should have done the stick thing before I came here. But too late now. Okay, we're ready. Okay, so last time on Time Delvers, Kiri was not here, and she was looking after a dragon. The team went to deal with some slavers. It turned out they had some shady business with some of the royalists, including Seymour, Pandora, and her apprentices. One thing led to another, and Diana was desperate to stop the shipment of 30-odd children going to the royal capital to be used in God knows what. What's this? Got my drawing. After which there was a bit of a chase with Nikki Cox on a broomstick. The cannon was fired. I think 2 people fell unconscious at one point. They all got back up. They had to deal with a paladin that had almost 30 AC.
Yeah, her.
Yeah.
Ooh, friendly.
Yeah. They still beat it somehow. Well, I say somehow. They downed it in two rounds between them. 3 rounds.
That was a 10d10 in there at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, to be honest, most of that was like, I do 96 damage. And
yeah, me and Ty both scored crits.
Yeah.
Did you score a crit on that, or did you choose a crit on that?
I chose a crit on that.
He had like 95 health and 10 hit points. So as a reaction, he had to gain 10 hit points just to live.
Wow.
Jesus.
Yeah, and then after that, then I was like, as a DM, I was like, nope, ones. We're not one in those. So I'm trying to think what else happened. Yeah, Diana ended up being possessed by Dragel, who ended up defeating Ming, who was one of the gunslingers.
Bitch.
Yeah. Ming then, in retaliation, summoned Pandora. Pandora tried to control the battlefield, but wasn't able to control Tai.
Lucky that.
Tai punched her in the face, and then Garviel also shot
she
her.
broke her arm.
Yeah. Garviel tried to kneecap her. She went down, and as you went to punch her at the same time, her arm was ripped off.
She might be annoyed at us.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
Then
just a slight annoyance.
Then Halal then possessed Tai.
Mm-hmm.
Halal and Drugel baited Pandora, who was absolutely having a mental breakdown.
Mm-hmm.
In retaliation, she brought out a champion weapon and summoned a meteorite out of nowhere that she wanted to destroy Finralden in one shot. Through the combination of your new champion weapon, Halal possessing you, and Dragel possessing Diana, you dealt with the meteorite with some help from Mooney. So the meteorite was cut in half and almost destroyed the city, but fell on either side of the city. Yeah, the world didn't end, so that's good.
You can feel happy,
Well,
but
that's
all of
something.
that running around warning people.
And this all happened. This happened.
They ignored you, but
This happened 3 a.m. in the morning, so you were technically asleep with a dragon.
Cool. Well, eventful.
Yeah. And then Pandora then took Ming and Lazarus, the paladin, and displaced away, basically.
Well.
yeah, shit went down.
Yeah.
Sounds like a party.
Yeah, it was a party. It was a bit railroady in the last 15-20 minutes because I was like, what do I do with this meteorite? This is a problem.
It essentially turned into a cutscene.
Yeah, it did.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Literally a cutscene by the sounds of it.
Yeah. Epic Final Fantasy.
I can't see with press X to interact.
Yeah.
And action is required on your behalf. Do you press X? No? Okay then, well it's gonna end.
Right, okay, so like I said, we'll roleplay your stuff the day before. Everyone else has gone off to deal with the slavers, that's all you know. You were sort of like with Baby Dragon. Farmer Jim is with you, and Tish as well. They're his employees.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Jim is like the receptionist, and he handles sort of like the basic business stuff while
cool.
he's away. And Tish is like a tinkerer.
Yeah, I remember
She
Tish.
was in the Colosseum fight as well.
Yeah, I remember Tish.
Yeah. So there we go. What do you want to do?
I don't know, it's going to be this dragon, isn't it? It's
Okay.
motherhood now.
Okay. What do you do with the dragon?
Oh, I don't know how is it. I've never looked after one of these things before. So I'm guessing
Base-
I would have probably taken it to bed or cradled it, and well, I sleep outside actually, so yeah, I'd still be taking it outside in my blankets and stuff, and probably getting it some food. Though I also need to learn that. Also, probably actually know that they're probably going to be carnivorous.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's fun. Oh god, that's a conundrum.
Are you veggie?
Roll nature. You already know all this naturally, but let's see what else you know.
13.
Add your nature.
Go ahead.
Okay, so you know the basics of dragons. You also know little things about the different colours. So you've got a bronze one. Bronze ones are curious. They love mortal dragon interaction, so they're very inquisitive. Bronze dragons tend to become like heads of state. They run their own cities of mortals, basically, and they're very protective of their city, basically. So bronze dragons are sort of like the diplomats of the dragons, basically. Very charismatic. That's all you know about bronze dragons.
My brain's probably going to be trying to find someone who could be able to help me learn how to speak to this thing.
You've got a rock technically,
True.
so you can.
Yeah, cool.
For now, you can talk to it.
Cool.
Cool. You talk to the Green Enchantress. She doesn't know how to talk to them. However, she was like, "Here's this rock."
Yeah.
It basically casts comprehend languages permanently, basically.
Yeah.
And she was like, "That's all I can do for you." As for learning the language physically, you roll straight up intelligence, because this is based off what you know of the city.
That'll be 18 plus. What's my modifier today?
Internet's going on the fritz again.
La la la.
Is it?
No, disconnect and reconnect. Don't worry. It's not your fault. I think it's the laptop. So if I disconnect again, it'll just go fine. Because I've done that twice in a row now. It's just been.
You tried switching back to mine here. Do one.
No, it's the first thing that you always are. Say you as tech support.
Have you tried turning it off and on again?
And then we do the hard reset, factory reset.
Yeah.
And then we just give up.
It's just
Send an engineer.
for some reason it's just not.
And it's fixed.
No, because that's the thing though. That's all you can do over the
Oh
phone.
yeah.
No, there's more you can do.
Stop.
If you know what.
Just
Stop with
laziness.
it, yeah.
Stop streaming.
Just laziness.
No,
And the customer doesn't want you to do them all. They want an engineer anyway.
most of them do.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
amazing.
send an
It's,
engineer.
it's amazing how often you say, well, if the fault is discovered to be on your part of the line, it's going
You
to cost
pay.
you.
I don't
And
care.
they suddenly go, oh yeah, I'll do all those tests you've been asking
Yeah.
me to do.
Oh God, what's going on here?
Has it broke properly?
It's like, this server doesn't exist anymore, and I was like, no, it does. It does. Oh, there we go.
Which
Fixed.
server, Twitch?
Then Twitch was telling me that this number doesn't exist anymore, but it does. Okay, there we go. We're all sorted. It's green again.
My intelligence roll was total 21.
That's pretty good.
Non-natural.
So language-based stuff. You've been around Finraza for about a week or two. You haven't seen anything of the sort. However, number of things that you do remember. There's a temple on the 4th floor. That might have something, but you have no access to the 4th floor, so that's no go. Magic College may have some books. The Merchant's Guild, you could inquire for information from there. Trying to think what else your character would know on a 21. Or think of a 21. You have no way to contact Mooney, who would probably be like.
The college might be a first go.
Alright, okay. So, are you taking the dragon with you?
I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna keep it cradled because Kira's not gonna think that it's.
That's a cute baby. What the fuck is it?
Yeah, she'll keep it all cradled up. So.
Okay, so.
Why is your baby scared?
Are you actively trying to hide it?
I wouldn't say so, but I wouldn't be trying to just show it off. Like I'd just be treating it as a natural thing.
You're halfling as well, so it's
then
nearly
I will
business.
roll that. I will roll that.
It's a tough one. It's
You,
a tough one.
one or two people take notice, but they kind of like, they look down, don't think of anything, and then they have a second after you walk past, they do turn around and it's like, what the hell is that? But nothing major happens.
Okay.
It's like most people are going about their business, but at this time, what time would it be? It would be probably about 12 o'clock at night, so there's not going to be many people staying.
Okay.
But it's obviously night shift work.
Yeah.
So that you're on disc 3, which is like the business side of things.
Okay.
So there's people doing night shifts and stuff like that.
Mm.
You probably take a good 45 minutes to go down to the magicologist on Thursday. That would lead you up to 12:45, which is 15 minutes before you do the raid. So you get there to the Magic College. What do you want to do?
So I'm probably gonna go in and I'm gonna try and find some sort of like receptionist or something.
There is a front desk. It's
cool.
quite obvious.
Yeah, cool.
Right now, it looks like somebody in his late teens, early 20s is literally sleeping at the desk.
Cool. If I'm tall enough, I'm gonna try and poke him. If I'm tall enough. Or if the desk is short enough, I'll just climb up on the table and
See how heavy of a sleeper he is. Random NPC, wake up.
Nope.
Yeah, he does wake up. He'll sort of like there's little drool on the side of his face, and he goes, hello.
how are you? You look like you were sleeping.
And he goes, I'm new. The night shifts are, and then he looks down at you. First of all, at you.
Okay.
And you're kindly striking a conversation. There's a dragon in your arms.
Yeah.
And then he's wide awake, and he's just like,
Hi.
hi.
Oh, you woke up.
I was just, and he sort of like gets out of the chair and sort of like backs away by about 2 or 3 feet.
Why? Why are you moving back like that?
He's like, what is that?
This is my baby now. I came to see if anyone could help with it.
That's your baby?
Yeah. It doesn't have my eyes or anything, but.
So the 2 highest authorities are Maggie Smith, who's more enchantment based, and Rowley, who is more metal crafting based. So neither of them would. I'm gonna have to make a random NPC on the spot, and
Oh, this is fun.
he'll ask you what you're seeking, basically.
Mm.
So that's 10.
What are you looking for? Are you like general help with the dragon?
Someone who
or?
knows how to look after these things, and I want to be able to speak to my baby, and teach it life lessons,
Oh god.
teach it philosophy. Yeah.
He'll say, we don't. There's not many dragons on this plane,
Well, I know that. That's why I came to you. Dad,
he
I
sort of
didn't
like
learn this out in the wilderness. That's why I came to you.
he says, I don't think we have any experts, but we have a dragonborn.
Cool.
Oh yeah.
That might help.
And he was like, okay.
Can you call them?
He says, can't just wait until the morning.
I don't know. I have to be parenting now. This is a constant thing now. Parenting doesn't end.
Next 4 years.
Let's see. At this point, Maggie Smith comes around the corner. Hello.
Hello.
And she goes, you were at the announcer tournament.
Oh yeah,
Oh, that's the dragon.
yeah.
Oh,
but nothing to do with.
I haven't seen dragons in a while.
Oh. Yeah, this is actually the first time I've seen one, and now I'm the mother of one.
Yeah, they're extremely rare.
Yeah, I can get that.
Yes. Would you like to come to my office and have a cup of tea?
Ooh, okay.
I mean, I don't think you'll get any help today, I'm afraid.
Oh.
I'm only up because I don't sleep. I'm demonic.
Okay.
Seems nice.
Yeah.
She's
okay.
Maggie Smith. Would you go with her for a cup of tea?
Reluctantly. So it's the first time Kira's been this reluctant.
So 1 a.m. in the morning, you're having coffee and tea with Maggie Smith.
She's gonna eat you for breakfast.
I'm scared.
She was like, "So, how did you come across the dragon?"
Oh, well, you see, we did this blood ritual.
Oh,
it was really
no.
fun.
She's gonna be really
Yeah, she's gonna eat us all for breakfast.
Kira's just obnoxious, so this is great.
She rolled a 2, so she doesn't know what the hell she's talking about.
Wow.
But most,
really?
most,
Oh,
most,
alright.
it happened there for her. She's lived a life basically. So in general, she would know about the basics of fey magic,
Yeah.
which is what this is. But she rolled a 2, so she's just at that age basically. Yeah.
Well, that was lucky.
Yeah.
So she'll go, "Oh, rituals. Yes, I know about ritual casting. It's very useful."
Yeah, I got parented out of it.
And she's like, "That's not normally how that works, but you know, today's youth are always doing something weird."
Yeah, I don't know. It was my first time, so I didn't know this is how baby dragons were born.
different reactions.
Good, I gotta tell Derek.
Oh, she says, "Oh, I remember Derek. He was lovely."
Yeah, Derek's great.
Yeah, I love Derek. Where is he?
I don't actually, out of character, I don't actually know where Derek is.
He's gone with the
Yeah,
raid.
like
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so how would Kira know that?
She knows these guys went.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah,
you surmise
Yeah.
if he's not with you.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, cool.
He brought his cat with us too.
Yeah, he got
Oh, I
brought
need to
in.
see the cat.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
So yeah, she'll just be like, you have a cup of tea with her for a couple of minutes, and she'll go, yeah, could you come back tomorrow?
What am I meant to do today?
Feed it? I mean, when did you feed it last?
Let's see. That's the thing, because it eats meat, doesn't it? It's.
She'll go over to a shelf and start pulling out 1 or 2 books, and sort of skim through them. Yes, dragons are carnivorous. I didn't have to look through a book for that.
Oh, see,
I'm Maggie Smith.
I haven't touched meat in many years. This might break that. Oh dear.
Says it appears from the
Okay.
temporary-
When would you get meat in the city?
that it uses
You can buy it
oils,
anywhere,
so we have
really.
oils,
Oh, okay,
pig
that's something.
plus the temperature.
Yeah, I might need to go do that.
Looks like the half
I
of
mean,
the
are you perturbed by it eating meat?
No, not for itself. Just, it's been a long time for me, and
I mean, you could force it to be
Oh
vegetarian.
no, that's not the ways of nature.
It is the ways of some parents that do it. I don't know why they do it
Oh.
though.
Oh.
I mean, I'm not questioning their
Oh no.
their parenting skills, but
Oh,
that's
No, I know-
not normal.
I know the way of nature. I know the way of nature. I see wolves, animals, and bears. That's fine. I can work with it.
Let's see what she can't help you basically,
Okay.
and she says if you come back in about 6 hours,
I'll go
7
find some
a.m.
food for it. Thanks for the tea. It was very nice. Even
Uh,
if you are demonic.
I've only got demonic traits, dear. I'm technically fully human. However, because of an experiment that failed in my early 30s, I can no longer sleep.
Wow.
Yes, I often get that. It makes me a bit of a bitch.
Oh, okay. Well, you seem rather lovely, so.
Oh, because you caught me at a good time. I was bored.
Oh, I see. Well, I'm glad to have seen you. Bye.
Yes, seeing is believing, as they say.
I really think I should feed this thing, so I'm gonna find some food.
It'll take you like 5 minutes. Like at this time of night, you're on disc 1, so it's basically where the farmers live, disc 1, and like the hard workers, like grafters. So like you'll see a couple of people walking around drunk. Then maybe 1 or 2 food stalls open.
You could probably get
Just
that
people
there's
have good
some at
choice.
the store generally for food for usage.
Mm.
Yeah, there's general stores everywhere,
The
basically.
junk could be
Oh,
a
and
good choice.
mine as well.
But there's, like I said, there's open stores as well, and there's like kebabs and stuff.
Yeah, I'll
like
probably
that.
just find the first meatiest thing I can find and
Roll a
Cheap as dirt.
roll a d20 and see what you get.
natural 20.
Oh god, okay, so
Well,
you don't get a greasy kebab for your dragon.
Oh, that would be fun.
You end up getting like
An entire life.
Hopefully he doesn't need that much yet.
you get several like large chicken legs for it. And it,
Southern fried.
like no
Oh.
roasted. I don't think southern fried. I don't know. I'd have to think about that. Like, would frying exist? Probably.
I can't see why not.
I can't see why not.
Isn't that how
But
you
maybe
cook
they.
everything.
What?
And you kind of fry it when you cook it in like a pot. That's probably what you cook it with.
So you get several like chicken legs and thighs basically to feed this dragon. It literally devours it within about 2 minutes.
Mm.
It's gone. Let's say it's gone through a 15-piece bucket of chicken on its own, basically bones and everything.
Easy.
Yeah.
Nice.
Daily.
Yeah. I do like chicken. So this dragon likes chicken as well, apparently. But it looks satisfied.
Nice, but that's one thing.
Okay. So now you've got to buy a burger chicken every day.
Buy a 15 bucket every day.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. That might break me.
Yeah.
Parents, that's expensive.
So
Yeah, also.
now it's like 1:30, 1:45 a.m. in the morning.
Yay, still got 6 hours.
Just buy it to go to have a snack buddy.
How much will this thing sleep? Because I know like human babies are gonna sleep a lot, so it's this thing gonna want to sleep a lot. What's this thing want to do? What's wrong?
Dragons, I believe, have normal night cycles even when they're born. So it's like 8 hours a day, basically.
But even when it's a baby.
Even when it's a baby. This is it's fairly large. It's like a large dog essentially. This size. So
Oh.
it's probably almost your size. So that's including the tail and the head. So while you were cradling, probably the tail was swishing around everywhere.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. I'm probably just gonna try having like basic, like saying basic things. Like hello, Ron.
Is his name Ron?
Yeah.
It will look at you blankly.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's something.
I mean, it will look at you with a term of like an endearment quality, because obviously it thinks it's your mother.
Yeah.
It's mother.
I'm gonna play with its snout every once in a while and
Okay.
just do typical paternal stuff.
Right, okay, that's fine. And I'm assuming you do that for the rest of the night.
That's for 6 hours until I go back to Maggie Smith.
Oh, you're staying up the whole night?
I'm gonna have to, I guess.
God.
Oh no.
So around 3:30 in the morning, you feel a massive earthquake, basically.
Nothing to do with us.
Right.
Right, okay, so while you're feeling that... Oh, no. No, so the meteorite's just fallen.
Yeah.
You guys have dealt with the meteorite. Everything's been sorted and cleaned up, except... one, there was 3 carriages. You dealt with 2 of them. The third one that was in the middle is gone.
Oh, that's
Hang on a second. It was in between us and Derek.
Yeah.
We don't get a say at all in this.
No.
It's disappeared. Poof.
As in it's gone. So you don't know if it was magical or during the scuffle it just bolted. Yeah.
Wow.
It went back towards Finn Rastor. It went off to one side. Hang up flat.
So
We'll never find that.
I'm going to change the map on Finn Raston at some point.
You need to on?
Change the map on Finn
A
Raston.
little bit.
Yeah. All I gotta do is just draw 2 big circles basically
Yeah.
because of paint.
Dunk.
Yeah, that's it really to note of really. So you guys can you're left to your own devices.
Uh-oh.
So there's you 4. Derek is back with the carriages with the kids in it, and Nikki Cox is up front on the broom. I think that's everyone. Yeah, that's everyone.
Yeah.
Oh, Mooney appeared out of nowhere to help as well, so she's there as well.
Did she?
Yeah.
She did.
She wind spelled to make sure it wouldn't build
There if she hadn't wind spelled, it would have fell incorrectly on.
Yes.
Yeah.
She did storm.
Yeah.
Finn Ralston would be no more.
Mm.
And you were at Finn Ralston. What would have happened there?
She would have died.
Yeah.
Along with quite a lot of other people.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Although I would have retconned to say the Acon that you had probably would have saved you somehow.
Oh yeah.
Ah,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah,
Acon,
yeah,
because
you-
it's
you
the
got-
world and shit.
You were sleeping by the tree and a dryad just
Yeah.
sucked you
Yeah.
through the tree.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, we go.
So what do you want the guy to do?
Go back to town.
Ty wants a nap.
Okay, so
Yeah,
you're
go back to town
gonna sleep it off.
and sleep. Yeah.
So you all are just gonna go back to the city?
Yup.
I'm beat.
In that case, Mooney will just simply wave at you all and just poof and gone.
Are we at the shop?
You can go straight to the shop if you like.
Cool. That's probably where I'm going.
But
What are we going to do?
what
with the
while
children?
the earthquake, what would
Children?
have you done?
Yeah.
What while I would have been feeling this,
Back down,
yeah.
like
that's
essentially
right.
an earthquake.
Look after.
Probably cradling
Mooney,
my
do something about that.
cradling
Would
one.
you move?
She won't give a crap.
Given where I was,
You were in the shop,
you
were
done
you,
from
or
back
you
then?
on still on the disc?
well, I probably would have been outside around it somewhere. I
You can do
probably
that,
would have found
'cause you
somewhere
were
to
sitting
kind of
around
wait.
looking really creepy.
Okay.
So I wouldn't have gone far, basically.
Okay.
One of us standing around looking creepy.
In the park.
So eventually
On the
around
None of the kids are disappearing.
4:15 a.m. these guys show up at the shop and
We looked like shit, won't we?
I didn't actually take any damage.
I did. I didn't take.
So I just look the same.
I'm just over half.
Good.
62 half is what, 31? Yeah, I'm just over half.
Mittens is with you, but Derek is not.
He stayed.
Yeah.
Oh god, Mooney's on my way with him.
No, she disappeared.
It is-
You saw her disappear.
Good.
But the cat will suddenly open its mouth and go, "Alright!" Like it's just like it sounds like a speaker coming out of the cat. Derek, yeah, I recorded a message. I'm helping the kids. Diana is helping me with the kids. Yeah, good. Bye. And then the cat closes his mouth and just goes, "Meow."
So Munchkin's the name of the cat.
No, Mittens.
Mittens. Oh, nice.
Munchkin.
Where's the dragon? Is still you're still creating that.
Yeah, you're at the shop, aren't you?
Around where is the college?
Oh, you're you're still at the
Oh.
desk, so you wouldn't have seen them.
Right.
Yeah, I would have been around there while waiting.
So never mind then.
Right.
So these guys are all going to
Yeah.
sleep, I'm assuming. Yeah. You are out for 8 hours basically, so you won't wake up if it's 4 a.m. now. You won't wake up until about 12, 1 o'clock.
What's a long rest right now?
Yeah, that is a long rest. Yeah, well, 8 is long rest, but for you it's 4. But you don't sleep, you trance. So in theory, in 4 hours, you can just
I
get.
think
to be
this
fine.
time you might take the full 8 because fuck it, why not?
Yeah.
I deserve
It'd be
this.
one of those things where she comes out of the shop and just goes,
Boom. Nah, fuck it. I need another 4.
Would possession take its toll? Or would
Uh-huh.
it would-
Yeah, she's.
Yeah.
It was the first time doing it. Roll Constitution.
First time doing
Yeah.
got my cherry pop.
Mer-
Oh, it's
Try not to kill me.
Shit.
Oh.
oh,
you-
got to be more than that. It's 6. It's 6. It's 6.
6. Okay.
I could use luck. I can burn a luck right now.
Oh,
You
you
have.
are about to go to sleep.
Blah.
What? What was that? Not in Cabrieg?
Okay. If you stayed at the 6, you probably would have at least one broken leg.
Ow. Ow. Oh, that's why it hurts.
Yeah, like broken bones.
That was my last luck point.
Good thing you go to sleep, right?
Your feet feel like they've swelled up slightly. Your hands, it feels like in parts they feel like not completely normal. So like actually gripping things is difficult for you.
It's like just being in the just after coming out of the dentist or something.
Yeah.
Mm.
I'm imagining that super bad hangover feeling. You wake up the morning after you've been out and you've
No,
been
it's,
drinking,
it's worse than
and
that.
everything smells of cigarette smoke,
Oh,
and all you can say is, "Oh God,
Oh,
oh God."
You don't know the nature of the possession skill, which you didn't ask Diana at all. So
Busy. I was busy
Yeah,
being
busy.
possessed by
By
God.
doubt, yeah. So,
How'd you do?
yeah.
Didn't have much choice in all that.
So 7 a.m. in the morning. You go into college.
Tired, but
Yes.
yeah.
Time to go to college.
The same gentleman is there. He's not sleeping on the desk anymore. It looks like he's got five. Basically, he's just looking at the clock and he's probably waiting for a shift to be over, basically. And he goes, "Oh, you're back. Oh, you brought your baby with you."
Yeah. Kept me up all night. Been waiting to come back for you guys. Can you help me?
Been Maggie bunny.
Just shitting the
He said, "I did leave forward notice
No.
for the Dragonborn. Apparently, the Dragonborn also knows of someone that would be able to help you."
Ah, cool. Thank goodness for that.
Eventually, you're led to the Dragonborn. Dragonborn is named Dirk. Metal, he's silver. So he's quite like whimsical. Think Aquarius, the star sign, basically. Very odd. So he's like, "Oh, hello, it's lovely to see you. I'm
Hello.
Dirk. Oh, it's nice to meet you. Oh, you have a dragon, bronze, wonderful. I'm not from here. I just thought I'd leave that off. The plane that I'm from is it's a bit weird. We have dragon lords, and then the humans serve them.
Okay.
Think several monarchies, and they're just all in equilibrium with each other. It's very fascinating.
Wow. Wow.
So on my plane, we don't have many dragons, but I know of them.
Oh, well, that's a start.
Yes, that's very good. So what would you like to know basics-wise?
Oh, parenthood. Mothering.
Baby dragons on my plane were extremely rare as well. There were 5 dragon lords, and they'd been around for thousands of years.
But dragon lords aren't dragon mums.
No, they're not. On my plane, dragons are hermaphroditic. In other words, they have both genders or no genders at all.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay, how does this help me move this on?
First of all, we can discern its gender. You discerned it was male, so that's a good start. So it's obviously not from my plane.
And I fed it lots of chicken.
That's a good start.
They think it likes chicken.
So I have a good friend of mine who is also a dragonborn. He's not here right now. He's on an expedition of sorts. He will be back tonight, this evening. But for now, I can help make it comfortable while we wait.
Okay, that sounds great.
Will you be staying here at the Magic College with us until the evening?
It sounds like it's gonna be the best decision.
Right, he says. So he tells you the basic of dragons. Sleep cycles 8 hours. They don't necessarily. They grow very slowly. So
Thank God.
they're not. It takes like 50 or 60 years just for them to get from wormling to the next stage.
Mm.
So it's going to be wormling for a while naturally. So you're just gonna. You can just eventually it'll just go to sleep on its own whenever it feels like it, basically.
Oh, okay.
Which it probably would have fell asleep in your arms around 5-6 a.m.
Yeah, nice.
Okay.
Oh, this is cute.
Yeah. Are you going to sleep as well?
Before anything, I'm gonna ask. Can you help me learn Draconic?
Oh, that's easy. He says.
Ah, brilliant.
I know Draconic.
Brilliant.
I mean, how would we serve out my dragon lords without knowing their language?
Well, teaching is a certain art.
Draconic is it's not like any other language spoken on the plane. It's very. He tries to explain. It's very throaty, very hissy. There's a lot of. It's very like
Welsh.
Guttural.
It's guttural. It's
Guttural.
very Welshy, Gaelic.
I almost
Sort
said
of like-
German.
It's not as harsh as German
Hmm.
because German is a very harsh language.
Hmm.
German has some
Yeah,
beautiful
Betty.
words.
say? Do you know German?
Some.
What's I love you in German?
Ich liebe
I
dich.
don't know, but I
Yeah, it is Ich liebe dich.
Ich liebe dich.
Yeah.
How harsh does that sound?
Yeah.
I love you.
Yeah.
Ich liebe dich.
What when you shout it?
Schmetterling.
Eh?
Butterfly.
Schmetterling. Bean?
Butterfly.
Yes.
So yeah,
I love Krankenwagen.
He's
Yeah,
like-
that one. Go on. What?
Krankenwagen.
What is
You-
that?
he'll tell you to sleep basically, and
Onion.
as a mother,
Onion.
it's
What's that?
from what he's heard, it's customary for the dragon to sleep near you.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily have to cradle it all the time, but it needs to be either in the same bed as you, or but within arm's reach.
Yeah, Kira's probably gonna do that anyway, so that's
She's
cool.
she's sleeping with a dragon.
She's spooning the dragon.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Mine handy.
For the dragon
Mobile
spooning
phone.
you.
Yes.
You can either go back.
Yeah.
You can either go back to the shop to
Like
sleep,
handy.
or the magic college will give you a bed to sleep.
I'll probably stay in the college.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. So you're out until 7, and so it'll be 5. You're about out until 3. 3 o'clock. So you all wake up around 1 o'clock.
Yep.
So as you guys wake up, what would you like to do?
Stretch.
Yeah.
So
Reflect on how crazy the previous day was.
Yeah. Sort of go down for breakfast, lunch, whatever at this time of day.
yeah, Jim
Yeah.
and Tish literally look after the place, so they would have breakfast sorted.
Hopefully you guys are all down there too, and we can sit there in that awkward silence of no one speaking because of last night.
It's just the
We've
whole.
all been there then, right? Okay.
Yeah. What the hell happened there?
What?
Let's
What?
not talk about it ever again.
Yeah.
Derek is now back in the furnace, but he seems to be working on something.
Oh, Derek,
Yeah, hello.
what are you doing?
Oh, nothing.
Oh, come on.
It's so do you know Mittens?
Yes.
I was wondering, Kira's got a dragon, and I have Mittens.
Oh God. Okay. Right.
No.
So what I want to do is
Create a dragon construct.
no,
Oh, good.
I want to make Mittens a saddle to sit on the dragon.
You know the dragon's gonna grow bigger, right?
Yeah,
Right.
but can you Mittens on a dragon?
It's going to be very small for a very long time.
Yeah, that's why old Mittens is the only one that can do it.
How big is it? The dragon?
Mittens?
No, the worm.
The wormling is about your size.
I just
So
come. I just
it's
come
about
to
3 or
and see
4.
if you're
It's
okay.
about 3 or 4
Sounds
foot
like a good
long.
idea to me, and just continue
It's
walking.
it's a large dog essentially.
What did Kira?
I
think
could
about it?
I could ride that now. You could ride that now. That's the problem.
No, I'm just gonna walk through this scene, eating some cereal.
With-
Delicate sounds like a good idea, and then just walk out.
With you two, you're probably able to ride it, so it'll be able to walk around but
Yeah.
not fly.
No. Oh no, it can't.
'Cause
fly.
it-
No.
It doesn't know how to.
But with Mittens, it could hover.
Oh, someone's going to teach her how to fly. There's no way I could teach her that.
Yeah, you could. You could turn into a flying animal. You've
Oh
seen
yeah,
birds.
try it.
Well,
Character.exe is loading.
Well,
Just give it a minute.
no, well actually, technically you're both right. Because you don't learn how to transform into a flying beast until level 8.
Oh, that's fine. There's plenty of time until
Yeah,
then.
you're level 7 now. anyway.
Yeah. How do I learn? How do I teach you to fly? Oh yeah, fuck, I'm gonna do it.
Oh, well, you know polymorph.
Quote of the night.
In fairness, when you reach level 8, you have to learn how to fly.
Yeah.
We could do group bonding.
Yes, we'll watch.
We'll chuck you off the edge of tier 2 and see what happens.
Brilliant.
Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit!
You
Oh
land when you
shit!
hit the floor.
Like Hotel Transylvania.
It's alright, we put something softer on that fucking meteorite.
Right, okay, so here's what's going to happen, and I'm going to put it out in layman's terms. Eventually, Amy's going to get in contact with you and say, we're going to have to do a meeting.
What? Why?
I suppose I have to roleplay this. So this is over the radio.
Hang on, is this eventually or now?
It would probably be today. Or something.
Okay, so why didn't you just come over now?
So here's the deal. I need to finish reading the book.
Mm-hmm.
I'm almost done. It'll probably take another day or two. After that, then, I have gotten in contact through Nikki Cox with Mooney and Diana.
Oh, so you've opened yourself up to the rest of the world?
No, it happens.
Okay.
I didn't really want to meet Mooney in this situation because
She cray.
This situation?
there was the problem with Mooney is that you do know her situation.
Nope.
She's
Yes.
she's essentially a mana battery, so she can infinitely cast spells. However,
Like you.
I can't infinitely cast spells.
Oh, I thought you could.
No. However,
Mooney, yeah?
she's Moonshine Wondler is the full name, but everyone's calling her Mooney too. So the deal with that is Backup is ignoring her because he doesn't want competition. As you can imagine, infinitely casting spells as immortal is a bit of a problematic deal.
Quite a thing.
Yes. So she only knows spells up to around level 7.
At the moment?
At the moment, she's only 16, so it's already she's
Yeah.
highly talented, and she's trying to learn level 8 and level 9 spells. However, the knowledge on this plane is virtually non-existent because magic is
Special.
fresh.
Mm-hmm.
High level magic hasn't been a thing for it's only been recent that people have been able to do it. I am one of the very few exceptions that can go beyond level 7 spells, but the way that I do it is I augment lower spells to make bigger effects.
So you don't know any spells from the higher levels? You just use spells?
I know them, but I do not have the ability to cast them. So what I do is, to make up for that, I compensate by, say, for example, getting 2 level 7 spell slots and 2 level 7 spells and just combining them.
So there's a level 14 spell slot.
In essence, it takes up the same resources, I suppose, but it probably doesn't has that great of an effect. Level 14, I only know of one level 13 spell, and that was somebody becoming a god, essentially. So level 14 probably would not be existent.
Yeah, that would be like,
Yes.
the universe.
Yeah. So she was like, probably the only person that can cast higher than level 7 and know the spells and be able to cast them is Avenia.
I'm guessing you heard about that whole thing.
What, the meteorite falling?
Yeah.
Nikki Cox gave me the little deets, yes.
Yeah, I'm glad we don't have to go over that then.
Yes, so I don't know what's going on. I only want to know about rifts, and now I've got to deal with several gods on my doorstep.
You can't put that on me.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So she says, I'm going to set up a meeting with Diana, and Diana will then handle the logistics of the meeting. You will all probably be invited to the meeting.
Great. It's exactly what I want to spend my day.
Because you guys have gotten involved this heavily, the idea for me was just to employ you and give you jobs. But one, you don't need the money anymore.
Yeah, we do.
And two, you can't see it, but you could hear visible rolling eyes. And two, because you're this heavily involved, I kind of have to show you my cards, basically.
So you have to show us what you're doing.
I'll have to share more information with
Good.
you. So that'll be at the meeting as well, because I don't want to go over information several times.
Seems fair.
We will do the meeting in the next couple of days, and I will see you there, and Diana will give you a time and place when it's all sorted.
Okay. How will Diane know how to get in touch with us?
She'll know.
Okay.
So then the radio cuts off basically. So what's going to happen is you're going to do 3 or 4 days where you do your role play for whatever you want to do, then the meeting, and then another 3 or 4 days after that. Then, so you basically got 3 to 4 days to do whatever you want basically.
Shiny.
So we'll go around the table one at a time.
Looking for jobs.
Are you doing Adventurers Guild or are you doing it through your shop?
Bit of both.
Oh, okay. Wisher, as your employee, will be handling the shop side of things.
Okay.
So you've essentially got a second receptionist. So you've got a receptionist for weapons and a receptionist for jobs. Okay?
Okay.
So I'm subletting my property.
Technically he's not. Technically he owns part of the property as well, but it's in your name.
True.
It's just he's a named beneficiary,
Yeah.
basically. So he's allowed to use the property as he sees fit, unless there's a butting of heads, in which case if it goes to law, you win.
I already told you though, you get 10% of profits.
Oh, yeah.
You already know this.
Oh yeah, no, I was sort of just getting something through that then. It's a lot like subletting.
So you're just doing jobs.
Yeah, but I'm looking specifically for jobs of the thing that I already told you about it before session.
Right, okay. So what was that?
Stealth investigation,
Oh, okay.
type things.
Alright, okay, so
Links
I want
to-
you to roll 2 stealth rolls.
Yes.
Do them.
17 and 16.
That's pretty good. Roll 2 investigation rolls.
This won't be as good. 16 and 6.
So you get, and then finally roll, I don't know what time would be, intelligence, 2 intelligence rolls.
17 and 7.
Right, okay. So I'll do them as in them as you read off. The first lot were 16 and higher from what I recall, and the lowest on the other one was 6, which was your investigation.
6 and
So you
16.
get 1 job, which is through your shop.
Mhm.
That it's essentially looking into merchant shenanigans.
Okay.
So it's more about sneaking in, getting pieces of paper, books, stuff like that, copying them, which you successfully do
Okay.
with no major incident. You probably get about 1,000 gold for that job.
Okay. Well, there's 100 gold going to you.
Okay.
Well, your shop,
And then the second,
which is then down to you to decide what it is. But yeah.
Yeah.
And
I'm gonna be able to do
half of that
my
would go to
own
the shop. The
so
450
450.
to Wisha and 450 to me.
Technically, you're controlling which shop now.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying she gets half
Okay.
of whatever jobs we do. That isn't going to profits to the shop.
The second one then is more of an assassination job through the Adventurers Guild. It's a minor job. It's Diana said she cleaned up most of the lower half of the slavers, and she was starting to deal with the middle tiers. There's because of the empty holes, the minor ones are starting to fill it back up again.
Yeah.
So the job is essentially to kill another minor one, basically. Which you successfully kill him, but you are caught in a way which means that you have to sort of like brawl your way through it.
Yeah.
So we're charged with you. You end up killing him sneakily. However, on the way out, you're caught.
Okay. Yeah. So we fight our way out.
You fight your way out, basically.
Okay.
You kill several people. You get the job done, but you're not paid as much because you didn't do it as sneakily.
Yeah.
So you probably only get 550 for that.
Okay. 55 to the shop, and there's a split between me and Wisha. 550 minus 55.
250 each.
No, 550 minus 55.
Yeah.
So it'd be 247, 248, something like that.
She can have the 24. She can have the higher half. I'll work it out now.
247.5.
Just to say for sake of agreement, you're halfway to that feat, basically. And we'll see if you get it in the second half, basically. You're about halfway. Okay?
Okay, she gets 248, I get 247.
Kira, what are you doing for the next 3 days?
I'm gonna be looking after this thing, and potentially I'm probably gonna go back to Dirk a lot at the college and find out how much they.
So, Dirk's friend comes back in the evening. Like I said, you wake up.
Nice.
His name is Walker. He's also Dragonborn. He's from a different plane though. His plane is very they're all reptilian basically, very types of reptilians. So he's more like knows more basically.
Okay.
What would you like to do in 3 days mechanically wise?
I'm gonna probably try and learn Draconic. That
So
would be
learn
amazing.
Draconic.
So
So
try and teach the thing.
I want you to roll two straight up intelligence. Two.
Okie dokie. So one's a 3, one's a 9 plus 3. Yes, plus 3. So my highest is 10.
Oh, okay, and lowest is
6.
okay, 10 and 6. Good to know.
Not very good.
Then roll 2 performance checks.
Performance. What's my performance? I think that's flat.
So at the bottom, I think it's
Yeah.
charisma.
It's gonna be flat. So 115, 1A. Yeah, that's flat. So 115, 1A.
And finally, roll 2 animal handling checks.
Okay. But, for God's sake, I thought I already said that. 5 and 15.
With the pluses as well.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
Right. So you learn very basic Draconic. So hi, hello, my name is, where you're from, stuff like that basically.
Yeah.
Your dragon learns the same, so he can say hello, mum.
Oh, that's good.
How are you?
Is this common or draconic for Ron?
He can speak on full Draconic.
Yeah.
So he knows it innately, but common he can say hi.
Yeah,
hello.
cool.
Okay. So you don't know the language full on, and you learn how to look after the dragon, basically the basics. So,
okay.
like I said, it's basically a bucket of chicken a day, or that amount. It doesn't have to be chicken. It could be like two goats' legs or something like that.
It's a chicken-sized amount of meat.
Yeah.
I would have liked to found out if I'd be able to ever return to the college, if there's anything that I feel like I
That
should
it's
ask
an
or-
open door
Yeah,
basically.
cool. Yeah,
so you
cool.
can do basically they're there to learn, and if you've got something to learn from, they're
Cool.
happy to do it.
Cool.
So this is all a new experience for them as well. So you're actually getting some attention. The college isn't on the large side because Finraz is more technological based.
Yeah.
So like it's not widespread, but the college is very abuzz with this. So Rowley, who's the head of the magic college, comes in once in a while and talks to you and leaves, and Maggie Smith comes in once in a while, talks to you, leaves. Basically, all of the big people come to talk to you, say hi.
Okay.
You've got a dragon.
Yeah, because you've got a dragon.
They all wanna be
Mooney does come once. She's curious.
dragon.
She sort of like looks behind the door. You notice her, and then she hides behind the door again. She's just like,
Jesus.
it's just
Oh, it's okay.
I thought you people didn't like me.
Oh no, I don't have any beef with anyone. It's all good.
Well, I suppose it's fair. Derek did break my arm.
Oh, wait, did you even know about
No,
that?
he was frozen in time.
Yeah, no. Whoa, wait. What did Derek do?
Okay, bye.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That does. Wow.
God.
Only Ty and you know.
Oh
Yeah,
no.
shit.
Okay.
So yeah. I will say you're a quarter of the way because of how low you rolled.
Fine.
You
That's
said
nice.
either fireball, which is probably not likely.
Yeah, no.
Like I said, Mooney is around the place, so she's
But-
but she's fucking mental.
Yeah.
And Amy won't be there for the next 2 or 3 days, so you can't do that. So the only option really is the other one.
Fade away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would say for that, to gain that, you would technically, didn't I give you silver badge for Adventures Guild stuff?
Yes.
Yeah, for free.
Yes.
So you would probably do more stealthy.
I'd abuse that for a change.
Yeah. So you'd do, let's say like Dan did 2 jobs.
Okay.
So roll up 2 stealths.
5. 15 both ways.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Next, roll up to investigations.
2 investigations plus 5. 14, 19, 9. Yeah. 14 and 19.
Okay, and then
Right, exactly.
finally roll up to con saving throws.
Con saving throws.
Yeah, con saving throws.
Natural 20 on one, which is 23 in total,
Mm-hmm.
and then 16.
Okay, so they're all pretty good.
Good.
So we'll say
Okay.
rolls.
Goodbye.
you do 2 jobs. You're actively trying to be a bit more quieter now.
Yeah.
So you're basically trying to figure out the silencer on your gun, how to use it more
Yes.
effectively,
Yes.
and you're also trying to do. Basically, you're trying to learn how to do sniping, basically,
Yes.
to be more quieter and to move around more quieter. So both jobs are very successful. You're not killing people; they're more like monster hunting.
Okay.
Because you're silver, you can't do the black jobs.
Okay.
So you're taking sort of like medium-sized creatures. So you defeat things quite easily. Things like hellhounds, or maybe 1 or 2 green hags, or
You're hunting.
You're hunting basically.
Yeah.
And you're salvaging as well. So you probably get 250 gold each for each job, and you do 2, so you get 500 gold total. And then let's say for the sake of grievances, you get things like leathers and fangs and stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah.
And you are probably about 70% of the way to the field.
Okay.
Because of the high rolls.
Cool.
I mean, I think I'd like to go to the magical college.
Well, okay, wait. You see Kira there with the dragon.
I'm gonna say hello
I just like how that's how you
Street
interact.
material.
to. I'm gonna say hello to in Draconic.
Yes.
yeah. In Elvish, I mumble some random stuff.
Well, now we're.
Oh wait, I can comprehend languages. I got my stone.
Yeah.
I respond.
She responds in Elvish.
Well played. Shit.
Who are you
I
seeking?
bow.
I am seeking I don't know, magic user who's good at attacking style of magics.
So that'd be Rolly, the head of college.
Cool. I'm gonna go and speak to him.
Her.
Her?
She's a
She's a her.
halfling.
Okay. I'm gonna go speak to her.
She's basically from Kaladesh, essentially.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think basically watching.
She helped me with my job. Remember?
Yeah.
Were you?
She wasn't there. The only person who was there was
Oh yeah, Kylan.
Kylan.
Yeah, seeing Gabriel running around and shooting things from a very, very long way away quietly
Yeah.
has kind of given me ideas, and I want to find out more in terms of doing that magic.
So let's say for the first half you would have gone with a job with
How to
him
use a herbalism kit.
to
Are
see
you at
this
the,
in
are you
action.
at the college now?
So you would have
No,
gotten
I'm going through
250
this
gold
like
from the
in
job.
regular, in downtown type things.
Okay, yeah.
And then the
Yeah,
second half
she can
then
use that.
is
Yeah, she's able to do that.
and the second half then is looking for
It's just 'cause I need to
learning,
vote
basically
that
learning the
helpful
basics from
part.
rolling.
Yeah. Yeah, when we cross paths, just
So
it.
so first of all
Just
roll
gonna
2
wait for-
perception checks
Yeah.
to see how well you observe Garviel.
So you're watching me train.
Yeah.
It's a bit creepy, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, just watching the creatures that you can get in the field. What's perception? Oh, this should be good.
Oh god.
2 perception rolls.
One's 28, the other one is a 14.
Okay. Next, roll up 2 investigation rolls.
Sure you don't want to go inside.
No, investigations.
I didn't even try that.
Oh no! 22 and a 4.
Okay, let's see. And then finally, roll up straight intelligence to see how you apply the knowledge.
Sure you don't want to go wisdom?
No.
Oh.
You roll another one as well? Sorry, roll 2.
So a 22 and a 6.
Yeah, they're very widespread. So, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
I think a bit of that.
So you observe him very well,
Yeah.
and from the observation you think, I want to do that,
Well,
and you can word it very well. So you go to Rolly and say, I want to do that, and she you explain it in detail to her, and she says, oh, I know how to do that. Your training is very hit and miss. Like at times you're like, this is great, and go out on it, and other times the ball goes far, far away. Let's just say there's a lot of broken pots.
That's that.
So let's say you are about 50% of the way to the feet,
Yeah, cool.
and then you.
So first things first, I want to search the city for a seer or someone who can scry. And then I want them to scry my parents. They can use my knowledge or the cloak to find the location or scry on the location.
Okay.
For whatever reason, I know scrying requires some sort of connection to the person or thing. And then I want to, based on the knowledge I'm given, put a job at the Adventurers Guild as a rescue mission. And then after I've done that, I want to try and interact with Mooney to try and pinpoint and adapt my spells so that I am stronger against those who would normally resist me. aka the elemental adept feat.
So what we're going to do is, the first day you're doing the whole parent thing.
Yeah.
So that's more a roleplay aspect. I will roll to see what Sia says.
I can't investigate any points.
But you're giving them the cake.
Yeah, just as a sort of.
So they have advantage on
shrine
roll.
tool to find cake.
Oh, cake.
Not cake because it was my parents' cake.
Not cake. Never mind.
That is unfortunate, even the advantage, a 5 and a 6.
Damn.
Spent the whole week making cake.
I like
So
cake.
they don't see a whole lot. They know that they are captured. They are safe though. They hear one or two words like moving dates forward and experimentation and stuff like that. They're in a cage of some sort, and looking around, there are like fey beasts of different nature and different cages, and that's all you get.
So I guess that probably wouldn't be enough information to post a quest in the Adventurers Guild to.
You know they're in the Feywild, so you could, in theory, just be like seeking help to deal with Feywild stuff, basically. But you probably wouldn't word it in a way like trying to find my parents in the Feywild. Like
if I would do a rescue mission, I would like bullshit my way into saying some sort of important people that have been sort of taken against their will, and I'll offer a 5,000 gold reward.
Okay.
Just to try and get some attention.
Okay.
And obviously I'll try and request them to put it to a quite high level.
Yes, so
just that people will be
basically,
able.
but just by Feywild, 5,000 gold, and you've got to go over the you got to go over the poison bridge, get them, and then go back over the poison bridge. So essentially, even with just that mechanic, it's already a gold mission. So it's one of the higher ones basically.
Wow.
But it's not as it's more of an experience thing because it's not as highly as paid as the other gold missions. Because all the gold missions are like kill the dragon, stuff like that. And they're like tens of thousands of golds. So yours is all the one of gold.
A magical item as well, which I have a spare.
Okay, and a magical item. So yeah, with that it goes up slightly.
I know.
So it's like a medium tiered
case.
gold mission basically.
Huh? In case.
Sorry.
So there you go. And then the other 2 days then. So roll investigate 2 investigation rolls to see if you find Moody.
Like I know she's like interested in me and my background just from
Yeah.
the experience we've had, so I'm hoping that sort of she'd be more up for it. Natural 20 and a 3. Natural 20 will make that 23, and the 3 will be a 6.
So for the first half of the second day you don't find her because of the 6, but then eventually you do find her. You ask her, and she although knows what you want, there will be a price involved, which would be she wants to have tea parties with you from time to time.
Oh.
Oh.
I'll be fine with that.
Don't break any arms.
And she basically says I don't.
Be careful what you kiss.
She
You have
basically
to tell.
she basically says I can't leave Finrasda very often because the moment I leave Finrasda, the royal capital will probably flatten the place. Basically it's her and the head of the Blacken family that the royal family are scared of. So if one of them left, it would be half of the defences gone.
And
basically.
I've been told before that Blacken family are very magical adept.
They are
Of course, like
Drugel related, so they're very highly blessed by the gods, basically. So most of them are
Quote
very
unquote,
very-
blessed
yeah.
by the gods.
they're very divine centric. So think clerics, divine sorcerers, that sort of nature. But they are melee users because their main weapon, the House of Drugel, is a skull and a scythe. So they are very adept. They from a young age they learn how to wield a scythe basically.
Okay.
So yeah, so you find Mooney, roll up straight intelligence to see how you learn the knowledge.
16 and a 10, so that's 19 and 13.
It's not too bad. And then roll up 2 wisdoms to see how you apply the knowledge.
9
My wisdom's not great.
disappeared slightly.
No.
Oh, not too
Thanks.
bad. 15 and 13.
Okay.
It is tempting.
So I would say because they were like middling rolls, you're about 40% of the way there.
Okay.
Okay. Right. Okay. So those are the first 3 days. Eventually.
Oh, sorry, I also want to be told immediately as soon as someone takes the mission. Just so I can
All right. Yeah. Okay.
provide a
That,
bit
that
more
is fine.
information.
It's probably not going to be for a while
Yeah, that's fine.
because it's
Gold badges
it's
are rare.
gold badges are rare.
Let's put it this way: I've only ever seen one, and that was because of the tournament. I've seen the one.
Yeah. Yeah. Eventually, Diana will come to the shop. You're all doing your own thing, so I don't think anyone's at the shop, but Derek is there.
Yeah.
Um,
Necessarily a good thing.
What's Derek doing with his week?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So day one,
we want to know what Derek
day
is
one,
doing.
he's working on the cat saddle, and
Oh, bless his heart.
he will go down to the magical college and nicely ask if he can see if it fits.
How is he asking this?
Yeah. So do you know Mittens? He can't fly.
Oh, I haven't seen Mittens yet.
Oh yeah. So Mittens is essentially a silver cat. Like that, if you feel the bristles, it feels like real hair.
No.
So it's like it's a metal cat. It's not heavy or anything. It feels and weighs like a cat and everything. It's
Nice.
just a silver cat. And he's just like, so Mittens can't fly. Well, technically he can fly if he uses my spell slots, but I don't want that because he does some weird stuff. So I want to put this saddle on your dragon, and I think it'd be really cool if Mittens rode the dragon.
Oh, I don't.
He seems happy. Look, he seems happy. The dragon just seems really indifferent by what's happening.
If you really want to, Derek, but couldn't you make Mittens fly?
Yeah, but that takes a spell slot, and I can't ride in a dragon. It's really cool.
But would Mitten want to ride on Ron?
Mittens, do you want to ride the dragon? He puts it up to his non-existent ear, and he goes, well, technically Mittens is a part of me, but it's developing his own consciousness, and I think it'd be a really good thing to have him have new experiences.
Okay, Derek.
So,
Yeah, I was suggesting that.
so this,
No. Why didn't you actively say it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
it's the sap.
No. Actively say that specific thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
What was the specific thing?
give Mittens wings.
Oh. Cats don't have wings.
Well, I mean, Derek, you have just modified your own, cat. It doesn't have to follow the universe's fallacies.
Yeah, but everything in nature is pretty in its own way, and that includes cats.
You can add on to it, Derek. Look what you're doing now.
Should a druid really be saying this?
Well, it's already gone. It's already gone past the point, hasn't it? Derek's an exception. I mean, I'm speaking to a warforged.
Derek at this point has already fitted the saddle.
Wow.
So, but you did say yes. So while you arguing with him,
Yeah,
he was
yeah.
halfway through
Yeah.
doing it. He then plops Mittens on top, and it just looks like the cat's like this. It's just like laying on the dragon. The dragon doesn't seem to care, but the cat is just like doesn't know what the fuck is going on. And then the dragon starts walking around, and all you see is this cat going like this on the back. Just this.
Do you feel better now, Derek?
Huh? It's very anticlimactic. Don't dragons fly?
Well, not yet, Derek. It's only just been born.
But I mean, oh, okay. I thought it was a good idea, but it's...
Well, if you really want things to fly, then go and make something fly.
Yeah, I could do that. So he takes Mittens. Day 2.
No,
Day 2. He now makes a construct, which is essentially, do you know, like a drone? He makes a drone and attaches Mittens to the drone. But the drone is like it's got like the propellers underneath, and it's like a little stage, and like the stage has like a little cat bed on
like
it.
a floating cat pillow.
There's a cat pillow, yeah. So the cat is just on this drone.
Oh, God.
Oh no.
And then you'll go back to the Knowledge College to show Kira again. He's like, look. So he doesn't have wings, so it's not against nature, and he's flying.
It works.
Can I go up to the Green Enchantress? Is she around?
Yes.
Yes, like, okay, can I show you what Derek's done? It is kind of cool, I suppose. Not something you see in nature, but Derek seems to think it's fine.
She's horrified.
Oh no!
But all you should see is just an open mouth, and she's just like. So he's essentially cloned his own cats.
Yeah,
And
I guess.
And
So what's cloning?
yes, that's a thing. It's a 7th level spell. I don't know it personally.
Sounds complicated.
Wizards don't think it's complicated, but wizards can do whatever the hell they like, apparently.
Wizards are really smart.
Yes, they are.
I haven't got time for that.
No, I don't think anyone does. We live 1,000 years and we don't do that. Yeah, she's horrified. But she would be like, all of this is happening for a reason. So...
Even Derek making his cat fly.
Technically it's not flying, it's just sitting on a pillow that's flying.
Do you want to tell that to Derek?
She'll turn to Derek and she'll go, even if I told you to stop, you wouldn't stop, would you? And he was like, no. It's a divine cat. And she was like, yes,
no.
and she's like, yeah. What are you?
Cats are divine.
If you're Egyptian.
She's like, okay, goodbye, and she just starts walking off, and she's like, she's not.
No, she
amused.
starts treeing off.
Yeah, she's not amused, basically.
Oh no. Oh.
And then day 3, what would Derek do on day 3?
And on day 3, Derek created the lands and the seas, and he said that was good.
I haven't seen those in.
Yeah, no.
That would be the name of his book. I haven't seen that in.
Derek is continuing to work on circuitry on day 3, because he's basically, the cat is basically a mishmash of divine energy and circuitry.
Yeah.
So essentially, it's not, in theory, not complete. It's not its own independent being. It still relies on Derek, and Derek can still control it. Derek's aiming for an autonomous being, basically.
Kira's gonna go over to Derek just because Kira does get excited about all kinds of new things. So Derek,
Yeah.
so you made mittens. That's
Yeah.
cool. I don't want you to, and I don't think the Green Enchantress wants you to. Just don't do this, okay? If I say it, just don't do it.
Right.
But can you make like another dragon? Don't make one, but could you?
Oh. Well, we don't have enough metal right now, but the dwarves are bringing more soon.
Well, I'm saying don't ever make one. Don't do that.
I don't know how dragons act, though.
We got Ron.
Yeah, but it's the baby one.
This is
I think he wants to make an adult.
Oh no, we won't have enough metal. We'll have enough metal to make like a wormling.
But let's say if you did.
I could paper mache one.
No, Derek. Oh, that'd be cool. Okay, Derek, that's cool.
because paper mache fucking work. I'm a paper mache dragon. Look at me.
Well,
It'd be really cool.
What kind of
rain
dragon is paper mache?
Falling apart.
Well,
What's its strength? It doesn't have any. It adds to the vein.
Don't put it out in the rain.
Oh no, my only weakness.
well,
the vein.
basically, I'm working on something right now. Would you like to see it?
Don't know. Will the Green Enchantress want to see it?
Probably not.
Okay, let's see it.
So he gets up from the circuitry. He's like, so the circuitry that I'm working on right now is brain stuff because that's where all the autonomy stuff comes from, right?
Not even.
So I've worked on the basics of senses.
Oh.
So and from behind the furnace, he pulls out 2 eyeballs.
Oh. Creepy.
Kira's gonna start screaming at it. This is a bit much, Derek.
But they've got like a metal sheen to them, so they look like human eyeballs, but they've got like a weird like
Making glass eyes.
basically glass eyes. And then he's like, look, and then he pulls out from the furnace as well. But basically, it looks like a tablet. And he goes, so this thing, I don't know what it's called, but I got glass and shit, and it seems, and you touch it, and if I touch it now, and then basically you're seeing from his hand.
Huh.
So he's like, the screen shows what the eyes can see. Look, see.
So it's some kind of tablet that lets you see through eyes.
It's basically it's basically a webcam.
Oh. Wow.
Oh, an eye webcam.
Wow.
And I can, you could say.
I mean, it displays on some kind of pad.
And he
I
says,
can't think of anything snapping
um,
on things.
It'll go up.
I've almost completed the idea that we could use this prosthetically as well.
Oh wow.
So if someone's blind, I could put these in them and they see again.
And then,
Oh,
and
wow.
then you could see out of their
Oh
eyes.
wow, Derek.
And I was already working on prosthetic limbs. That's easy. But look, I can help so many people.
Wow, yeah, Derek, I guess you could.
Yeah.
I don't think the Green Enchantress likes this stuff though. But
Yeah.
it is really exciting.
Yes. I'm not making life yet. Well, excluding Mittens, of course, and then Mittens is like, it goes past the doorway on the drone, just going, man.
This is a duck's to life. This is flying overlord of us all.
He's like, oh, by the way, I gave Mittens the control of the drone.
Nice.
Yeah, so now he can be safe.
Safe from what?
Well, if I never go in combat, I can't hold him all the time.
Well, I was thinking that with my dragon, but to be honest, I think he's going to be stronger than me.
Oh, I could make your dragon a drone.
No, Derek. No, Derek. No, I'm just gonna get Ron and clutch him. I'm just like, no, Derek.
I could make it armor.
Okay. That'll make him safe. I need Ron to be safe.
Please, drone, please, no, bollocks, shut up.
Flying gnomes.
And he says, so now Derek has made a drone for your dragon.
Derek.
Derek.
God.
We just invented a gun drone.
Jetpacks.
He's also augmented the eyes. They don't look like
We
eyes
don't know what they
anymore.
are.
No, we don't.
They just look like barrels of guns, and he's attached them to the drones.
Oh, he has
Oh, wow.
already created the gun drone.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And he's like, it's got gun,
I'm
and
gonna
it's
love
got the
that thing.
camera thing. I'm calling it a camera
Why?
Oh wow.
because that's what Amy said to call it.
Oh, why did Amy say to call that?
Because I contact it every day.
Can you make one of those big enough for me?
It's already big enough for you.
Make another one, but for me, with the guns on it. But they are automatic and they shoot at things that are the closest enemies to them.
You probably won't be able to control it mentally. You'd have to have remote control.
That's not good enough.
I mean, I'd have to put a circuit in your brain.
I'm okay with this.
Are you okay with this?
He goes and gets a spike-shaped piece of circuitry. And a
I don't
hammer.
know.
Don't forget, he would have to do a medicine check here.
I don't know human. I don't know anatomy.
Oh god.
I don't know brain stuff. I know how brains act, but I don't know how. But the ways I make brains, they don't work like normal brains. It's more like I just tell the circuits, do this, and then it goes,
Okay.
okay. And it's
Okay.
good.
Okay.
Yeah.
No. Not yet.
I can.
In fact, bollocks, melt this.
Derek,
Yeah.
would you know how to make these? And I spread out my wings. And flooded them. Do you know how to make wings, Derek, like these?
We haven't seen that before. Have we?
You have.
Have we? Oh.
They're permanently on her back, basically.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I can sprout them out, so.
Okay, so technically.
Yeah, this is the first time I've sprouted them out.
Okay.
Whoa.
Need a burrito. Although I don't say burrito because I don't think burritos exist, or do burritos exist?
They probably.
I want them
Okay,
to
need a
exist.
burrito.
Yeah, I want burritos to exist.
There's so many people from different planes, and there's probably another Nicky Cox that making burritos.
Okay, good. So will they know of burritos? That's my next question.
Probably.
Probably.
Okay, need a burrito is what I would say.
Yeah, it's easy.
Oh, that's good.
I don't know how. How big would the wings need to be?
It depends what you want to make things fly.
What do I need to want to make things fly for?
It's not that you sounded like that was your. It sounded like that was your purpose.
I think
I
Mitten
wanted
seems
to
happy on the drone, and the drone goes past the room again, and he goes.
Okay, I retract my wings and go. Okay, fair enough.
And now goes out of the shop, and Jack's just like, he does that sometimes. I don't know where he goes, but.
Supposed to have a chat with Patrick.
Oh god.
I want Patrick to be introduced
Oh.
to the story.
Oh, I've got something to say. Do you know?
Oh.
I don't.
Oh, roll
Oh,
for that.
hang on.
What?
Yeah.
Roll for that,
What?
Patrick.
Oh, where Patrick is?
Meteors.
Oh no, he was on the fields. So the fields.
The fields were under the meteor.
No. If I draw it on the map.
Yeah.
So the nose is like this.
You know, I'm thinking about
It's
the cows
here.
for the dragon week.
Fields here.
It had
The
kind of
meteor
crossed my mind,
fell
we
like
can
this.
Make more cows.
Oh, okay.
An
so it's
offside
the
might need
other
it. Some of
halves.
them
Yeah.
can talk.
Cool. Radio.
Might be good for Ron's nutrients.
So maybe a couple of people died because it was 3 a.m. in the morning,
Yeah.
but it wasn't as excessive as It's probably around 50 people died.
Is that, oh no, I find giant allies of Mars win this one.
They probably didn't feel anything.
No, probably not.
Something instantaneous. about
So,
being
um,
crushed.
Derek then goes. So do you know sometimes he goes out on his own on his little drone, and then he comes back and he brings dead mice. What does that mean?
That's what cats do.
Well, there's a few reasons why cats could do that.
But then sometimes they're like normal dead rats, and then sometimes they're burned to a crisp.
I'm so glad you didn't yet.
Well, I don't think Mittens is burning them, because that's not what cats do.
Yeah, but yeah, you can do that
Oh, then that'll be right.
because yeah. So my favorite spell is lightning bolt, and I think that's his favorite spell too.
Derek, why did you teach the cat how to do this?
No, because of the way it works, it's attached to my spell slot, so it can do whatever
Can
it
you
wants.
detach it?
Why would I do that?
Because it's fucking crazy. Because it's electrocuting them and then bringing them back to you.
But
It's proud of its kills. It wants to show its daddy its kills.
Am I its daddy?
Yes.
Technically, yes.
You are its creator.
I'm its daddy.
It's Daddy Derek.
Yeah, we're both parenting these days, Derek.
Maybe I need to get a baby. How do I make a baby? I need to work on that.
Oh God.
At this one, walks out the room.
Why, Derek?
I'm
Why?
already sitting there like this.
Right, okay, so Diana would have come during the first half of the week to relay the message that to meet at the VIP again.
The same place.
Yeah, same place.
Where, sorry?
Okay.
It's alright. We know where we're going.
They know where you're going. When you get there, the following people are already there.
Ooh.
Oh no! You need to describe the 4th floor to these guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
Likewise.
yeah, but we are on the 3rd floor right now.
Yeah, no, but when we go.
So when you get to the VIP, so Diana's in a disguise, which instead of a tall silver-haired woman, she's slightly shorter, blonde hair, and a bit more feminine in nature.
But she's still got it.
She's still got the scythe on
Oh,
her
yeah.
back.
So it sort of gives it away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know that's Satan fooling no one, right?
And she's like, well, I've cast a spell on it, so it's not discernible to certain limits. So people can still see it because it's a champion weapon, a soul weapon essentially. So I can't change it.
So,
Soul weapon, eh?
what's one of those then?
So-
we know about champion.
No, champion weapons are like his
sword.
weapons.
Yes.
They were used by angels, avatars, and generals of during the war of the gods. The main champion weapons was a special weapon, each made specifically for an angel, a direct servant of the gods during the war. Wow. Which is what Ty has and I have.
Oh, so you have an angel's weapon.
It's essentially with his weapon, the weapons have got some sort of sentience, so they can choose their owners, but even if they reject their owners can use them to a limit.
Huh.
Soul weapons only pick one user. They are extremely sentient, as in
Like that.
yes. So they will attach themselves to a person, and there are strict requirements. I wouldn't know, I'm afraid. That's the machinations of the gods, really.
Okay.
Mine attached to me because of my past. I'm assuming something similar happened with Ty in her past. But there are strict requirements. And the reason they're all called champion weapons, but the 7 main weapons are specifically soul related. So they will bend themselves to the nature of the person, but also the person will bend themselves to the weapon as well.
So.
Soul.
Choose the person who they
Are these weapons also what allow one to become possessed by the soul it's attached to?
Oh, possession is a different skill, I'm afraid. Where the gods are right now, most of them, except for Aetherius and Halal, are trapped somewhere. So in order for them to interact with mortals, they either have to do it through visions, or they have to possess a body of someone extremely devout with divine abilities. Which would be avatar level and above. So they would have to have some sort of immortality attached to them.
Well, there we are, you're immortal.
Congratulations.
Oh no, we're avatars in waiting. We're different.
Oh, okay.
Essentially, when our time is up on this plane, we will be offered to serve the gods in our afterlife.
What's Derek then?
Derek is literally a part of a god. So technically he is a god, but part of it.
I just found that out.
No, we've not.
He told us this on day one.
Yeah.
True.
He is, I told you, he is a toe, basically.
Then why is he so?
Eclectic.
Yes.
It's vastly complicated, she says. Divine energy on this plane works differently from other planes. Divine energy on other planes essentially embodies, encompasses a person, like this person over here. It lives and breathes in them. On our plane,
I've got blood in my veins.
in
That's what my parents told me anyway.
on our plane, they're more like
Everybody's parents.
batteries shoved in the person. So there's a little canister of divine energy in the person. And depending on the person and what the god wants them to do, the canister will be bigger or smaller. So what Derek is just a big ass canister of divine energy.
Sweet.
What that entails means is that it's such a big thing and it wasn't attached to a body per se. He's slowly gaining his own independence and sentience.
Is that a good thing?
It means that one day eventually he could become something similar to something in between a god and an angel. I don't know what that would be.
Demigod?
I wouldn't know what that term is, but it sounds applicable in
Half
this situation.
god.
Yes, I suppose.
Huh.
He's busy creating things, so that's
He is
pretty
building a
godlike.
lot of machine magic.
Mittens and Ron are on the drones
Just
behind
floating
him.
around.
Oh, when did he get Ron up there? I didn't want to get Ron up there. No, Derek.
Oh no, Ron's not controlling it. Mittens is controlling.
No,
Oh
Derek,
wait,
don't
hang
get him
on.
down.
Oh God.
Crash dead.
Derek.
Mittens is controlling both of the drones.
Derek.
I can tell him to stop.
Yes, Derek.
Mittens, she doesn't like the
Drone thing.
drone thing. Come down, and Mittens will and the Ron drone will come down, but the Mittens drone is staying up.
Okay.
He's floating past high shelves, knocking things off.
You're not in a building, you're outside the elevator, but he's about 10-15 feet above you, and he's just circling around. Look, yeah.
It's gonna get old.
Yeah.
Oh.
Not gonna do it.
Oh.
Yes. Yeah.
So, yes, I mean, that's, yeah, that's it, really.
That was a nice load up.
Yeah, well, I've said it before,
Yeah.
but like in little bits, so
Yeah.
I've just said it all in one
We've
go.
just chucked it all together.
But she says, with soul weapons as well, attached to that is we become more and more divine. So the more you use it, the more less mortal you become.
Oh.
I'm the exception because I was bred to do it.
Huh?
My family are Drugel followers.
Sure.
And the three families are old nobility from the royal family, which split off because they didn't agree with the new royal family.
Okay.
But originally, they were part of one of 6 families that were the first, I want to say humans, they weren't humans, to live on the plane.
Oh.
So law says that the gods experimented with several different races which failed or they didn't like the result of, and eventually they came across what my family eventually became, basically.
Sure.
She says noticeable features are various different colours of white hair, basically. So if someone has white hair, they probably have some background in one of the 6 first families.
Shiny.
And she says my family is probably the most pure because ever since my great grandfather, they've been pairing marriage together, basically with highborns to get to my
Mixing
father,
blood.
to get to me, basically. So I am a product of.
Two.
I'm a product of. I was just trying to. It's arranged marriage. Okay. My father was meant to be what I am now,
Right.
serving Drugel directly.
Huh.
But apparently Drugel and him had a falling out of sorts. I don't know the details.
Family drama.
Yeah. One day I might share it with you. It's a long story.
Okay.
Yeah. So are you ready to go?
Yeah.
While she's having this conversation with you, the following people are standing next to you. Nikki Cox,
Nice.
Amy.
Oh wow, Nikki, Amy.
Mooney would be upstairs waiting.
Right.
I think those are the main ones. Oh, Harold at the tag along. But he's somewhat sober. He's sipping basically.
I buy him a drink.
Yeah. Oh, this is fucking going over. This is going over my head. It is.
This is a real suck, is it?
Oh. No, you leave that person upstairs.
Ooh.
Oh.
Is that a good ooh or a bad ooh
Someone go upstairs.
So Diana will do the same thing again. To give the invitation.
Mm-hmm.
You are taken up to the fourth disc, which I'll describe now for other people.
That sounded interesting.
Oh, hang on. Oh, what's chocolate pizzas? The hell is that?
What?
Chocolate pizzas.
Health food.
Did you say health food?
The sorting food.
Ah.
Why would I
Chocolate
have
peaches,
cheese
health
Sardonic
food.
about
Yeah.
it?
Oh my god, I'm gonna go and get some chocolate.
Can you say what was that last bit that I missed? Because I was busy ordering food just then.
Just load dump of weapons, stuffs.
No, the weapon stuff I heard.
Oh yeah.
Same with the divine energy stuff. The stuff after the divine energy
Nikki,
stuff.
Amy, and Harold are waiting with us.
No, just before that.
Oh, divine
The family
energy.
that
Yeah.
Diane's part of.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh,
Bred for generations.
No,
Yes.
I know that
Yeah.
stuff because that was my character.
Yeah.
Last time I did this campaign was I know Diana's stuff. So okay,
Barbecue
that makes
wings.
sense.
Barbecue wings.
I can't find it.
So if the Blacken family of the magic of the three families in Fenrasta and the Wonderland.
No, Moonshine's family is. The Blacken family are the
Three
Three
girls.
girls family.
I just thought if they're trying to trying to create this sort of divinity within a person when they created.
Can I let you handle that? Not to pay, but I've got my class online. But I just want you to do the ordering basically, because I'm busy.
As soon as possible. Do they need to know anything? The delivery driver?
So where was I? So
You
you go up the elevator, and I'll describe the fourth district. It basically thinks 1950s, 60s pretentious suburb basically.
Nice.
So there's cobbled streets, white houses everywhere, like cottages and bungalows and like picket fences and nice little gardens and flower pots.
Do you mind just adding
The streets are lined with various like bistros and boutiques. So there's like little posh like Italian coffee shops and stuff like that. And then as you walk down the street, you hear like pretentious conversation like, "Oh, he said I couldn't afford both of them," and I was like, "How dare he say that to me? I had the gall to slap him there and then." And then the woman next to us just like, "Oh, yeah, oh."
Oh wow.
And then
Wow, they're having the same conversation still? They must have very
Yeah.
boring lives.
talk about money problems, but it doesn't seem like they're having many problems. First world problems, like her latte is 1 degree too cold, shit like that basically. People talking about yoga and Pilates and
Oh god.
yeah.
Oh, they're those type of people.
So yeah. Eventually you're led to the pillow, which is
Chocolate.
the posh inn essentially.
Yeah, go on. Thank
Don't
God.
take just one.
When you walk in, the high elf is still there. Like I said, embroidered in white hair, gold eyes, looking prima propria. Oh, go on. No. What are they? What are they?
Buttons.
Oh, I love a good button. I do. We do not condone advertisement, but you know, if you want to advertise as Cadbury's, that'd be great. It's not Cadbury's, it's chocolate. It's so good.
Again, don't take just one. Come
Other
on.
chocolates are available.
This one, yeah. Alright, fine.
Yeah,
No.
it should be on there already.
Yeah, I was just because there's two on here, Stu.
Oh. My old one and my new one. Oh god. Oh, I like chocolate. So, you right to the pillow, pretentious high elf like I described. Hello, welcome to the pillow. We have been here since the conception of Finn Razda.
Wow.
You are the guests of Miss Wonder, is that correct?
Button, please. Can I have a chocolate button, please? I believe so. Again.
Don't
Yes,
get
of
one.
course.
Don't get just one.
Last time you were here, she recognises you two. Last time you were here, you were given a small little inn room, a little bedroom of sorts. You will be now given the main dining hall because you have a larger party, and you will have a meet and greet followed by a small meal.
Okay.
She got stuck up her ass.
What will the meal contain?
Food.
Hopefully, food.
We will have a starters of a sampling of soups, which will be volets and vol au vents, followed by a main course.
What are they?
What? Oh, they.
Vol-au-vents are little like they're almost like Yorkshire pudding-y
Yeah, they're pastries essentially.
things.
I'm
Yeah,
asking
with
in character as
Stuffed
well, yeah.
with.
Yeah, this is what Ty's explaining to you.
Yeah. Oh yeah, from Els, they've got vol au vents for days.
Yeah, Sky has bad memories of vol-au-vents
Yeah.
because the other elves used to chase her through the streets throwing rancid ones at her. Wow.
The salmon ones are especially smelly.
Yes.
Can't I just have soup?
No, the soup. The soup.
These are the soups.
The soups are then served in just basically what looks like shot glasses, essentially. So they're.
I want a bowl of soup.
It's fine dining. Pretentious twat.
Are you telling him that or?
I say it loud enough that the lady can hear me.
But I just want a bowl with a thick
She's-
piece of bread and butter on it.
She's ignoring you. The main course will then be minted lamb with a selection of winter vegetables, and then the dessert.
But I still want soup.
And then the dessert will be a chocolate forest gâteau.
What's a gâteau?
I like how you do food too.
Fancy chocolate.
I've never had any of
It's
them.
all
So
food.
chocolate cake, right, okay.
It's all food.
The problem with each of these things is the portions will be so tiny that we will need to eat when we leave.
What's the fucking point then? Are we paying for this?
It's new food.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, well, fine, whatever.
Can't someone just create food and drink?
Enjoy the flavours.
What flavours? It's gonna be shit.
No, actually, it'll be rather delicious.
Oh,
It'll just leave you wishing that you ate something filling.
okay. So I'll get my bowl of soup when we go home.
Yes.
Yes.
So she's while you're having this conversation, she's completely ignoring you and going through the history of the inn.
Yeah, no one
We-
cares.
Yeah, no one cares. That's this is why I'm not going through it.
She's insulted me by not listening to me, to my want of a bowl of soup.
I'm just imagining you getting halfway through this meal, pulling out a wand of cheese, and just turning your plate into cheese.
I suppose
Cheese
yours costs
sucker
so
now.
much.
Eventually, you take it to the back of the inn where there's like a fairly large dining hall. Think varnished wood, chandelier, artworks all over the place, and a nice open window showing.
Can I
like,
swing from the chandelier?
I swear to God. I swear to Tron.
Oh, God's alright.
Yes, God's
Because
alright.
it could just be any of them.
I just can't say Christ
You
anymore.
can't know.
Oh, Christ.
Who's Christ? It would have to be, what would be his name? I can't say.
Oh.
Spoilers.
Well, now we got a push.
No,
Oh.
Roll religion? That's a 16. Plus 4, that's a 20.
there are angels, and if you were to equivalent it to a Christ, you would know that Aetherios, when she was first conceived, did have a twin brother. Who?
She ate.
No. No. But the twin brother, they didn't argue over the position who would be the god and who would be the servant. So they just agreed that she would be the god and he's technically an angel.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. I'm
So-
not going to tell any of this.
Okay. Okay.
Oh.
But you would know because of your elven
I'm
background,
I'm
basically.
edgy as well.
Yeah.
Oh.
So into this.
Oh, and also then, in which case you know quite a lot then. So things like Halal used to have a lover.
Ooh, that's fun.
What else?
Lord
You may be wanting to write all this down.
Yeah, this is info for.
Yeah, Trom had an angel that was also a seeker.
What's a secret?
I've gone over that once, I
Yeah.
think. They are a crystalline race which derived. They were basically the original race base for the genetics of the 4 main races,
Shiny.
and they are crystalline in nature, and they can cast spells for free, certain spells for free.
Oh,
Bilal had a lover, Trog had an angel seeker,
Um,
Atrios had a twin brother.
yeah. I'm trying to think what else there is.
Backup's still indifferent.
Yeah, backup is still indifferent.
Nothing changed.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what the other. Drigel is a loner, so he doesn't often have people around him, except for the Angel of Death. But nobody talks about the Angel of Death.
Angel of Death.
Yeah.
Sorry, just
And then who is the 6th one? Oh, Moradin. Yeah, Moradin's a weirdo as well.
Thanks.
So she likes to she's essentially what Derek does. She likes to manipulate gender.
Ooh, let's try this.
Yeah, try this, try that. She does not care about barricades and stuff like that. So there'll be times where she's got like 5 or 6 angels randomly, and then times where she'll have no angels.
Oh.
Morgan likes experimenting.
Yeah.
Lovely.
I'm not gonna pass any of this on the way, but
Okay.
it's all mine.
So in the room then, you've got Amy, who's fucking enjoying the attention. She has a wine glass in hand, and she's just like this.
You're used to this, aren't you?
And he was like, I haven't had something like this in about 50 years, I think. The elves, they know how to dine, but they're pretentious arseholes.
Agreed.
Oh, you'll get on then.
I'm not as pretentious, she says. At least I can state the fact that I am somewhat pretentious. I am talking to you after all.
Oh, dagger.
Bazinga.
Yeah, she says, if I was truly pretentious, I wouldn't be talking to any of you. Except for maybe you.
Me?
You have useful skills.
Okay.
Oh,
good.
and we don't.
No.
Burn.
Well, I think.
Niggy Cox is literally. She looks. She's just in the.
My elves.
She's just in the corner. She's like, oh, fucking bitch.
I'm gonna sit over there with her.
All right, love. Haven't seen you. Oh no, actually, I saw you at the party, didn't I? A couple of days ago.
And yesterday or the other day when the meteorite came down.
Oh yeah, that's right. I felt unconscious. That was a fucking night. That was. The last time I felt that downed was fucking when there was 5 men on top of me.
That's not a hole I want to dig.
Yeah, it's definitely a hole you don't want to take.
I'm gonna go back over there now. I think that
When you go back to the other corner, Harold is there and he's starting to try and get drunk, but it's not working.
Harold.
Oh yes.
I'm helping.
How do you put up with that?
I don't have to.
Amy and
Alcoholism.
Nikki.
I don't have to put up with Nikki so much because I don't see her very often,
Right.
and the sex is good with the other one.
Forget it. It's a man thing. Okay.
And she is quite pretty, so yeah, that
I
helps.
get that.
Yeah, it's just when she opens her mouth, basically.
Just no. No.
I bet you during the moment he's like,
And in other.
Miss Wonder is observing everything, but she's sticking close to Amy. And then there is another person there.
Yeah, true.
describe said person.
Mid-20s, a bit of like sort of stubble, brown hair, white streaks in it. posh coattails, think factor controller, except not as fat. Very debonair is the only way I can describe it. Diana recognises him and goes, Tarviel! I haven't seen you in a while.
Tarviel, that's a nice name, I like it. Nice reveal at the
yeah.
end.
Tarviel Smith, he says. Smithler. Of the Smithler family. You one of the three families.
Yeah.
Okay.
Smithler.
Yeah. He says, I run the business side of things. As in, the business on the fourth and third discs.
Okay.
My older brother handles the more internal things, and then my father runs the show. More of a mouthpiece, really. Now you know the basics. And he sort of walks over to Diana and gives her a hug, and he's like, how are you? And Diana sort of like inches away slightly, and she goes, fine as always. Fine as... Nice to see you. How's your mother and father? And he's like, oh, they're great as always. They want to see you sometime. And she's like, it's kind of difficult when I killed 500 slaves. And he's like, yeah. Well, that'll change soon, won't it? He says, and he sort of walks off.
What?
And then the pretentious high elf is still standing there, just like claps her hands, and she goes, places, people, the starters will be served in a moment. And she walks out of the room.
I just look dumbfounded.
Yeah.
The fuck places? What?
I think there's something about food.
I look at the table and the name plates.
Yes.
I find one that isn't mine.
Are you being that guy?
No, I'm gonna find mine. I'm not gonna be that guy.
I literally just plonk down in the closest chair.
Here, Ty, you
Yeah.
sit by here in mine and I'll sit in yours.
No, I literally plonk down in the closest chair.
They're gonna be that guy. I knew someone was, which is why I said it. But no, I'm gonna sit in my seat.
So when she walks out of the room, she goes, right, okay, right down to business then, I suppose, because I don't want somebody else listening in on the conversation. So while she's gone, let's get the important bits out of the way, shall we?
Amy.
She says, I said I was going to share more information with you. If you would all sit down, we'll get it over and done with. She said, Amy is not my real name.
Oh. Amy says to us, well, Amy's not my real name.
My real name is Viola. Everyone that would be on the planes would be you four, because even as an elf you may have heard the name. Roll a history
I've not
check.
been here long enough to have heard it.
You would have.
Yeah, you have.
You have. You've been here for what, 30 years?
Yeah, give or take.
So you would have.
You've been here long enough.
You've heard the name. So yeah, but roll history.
18.
18.
17.
Yeah.
Nature?
No, history.
History. Oh, it's not going to be good.
22.
Okay, so we know a little bit more than these two.
7.
So yeah, you've heard the name. Just it rings the bell.
Violet's a really nice colour too.
No, Viola. Sorry.
Viola.
Yeah, Viola's the name.
Viola.
As
That's
in,
a really nice instrument.
Yeah, ever.
so the three of you would have heard the name. The avatar that you met in Grandoza would have mentioned it. Pandora.
Oh.
So Pandora, Viola, Lesher, and Seymour were all apprentices of Avenia once.
Oh.
Before what happened 20 years ago, whatever that was, when they all split up, basically.
Broke up,
Yeah. So Viola has met, dealt, and worked with those people before, basically.
Wow, so she's worked with Pandora. And
Pandora, Seymour, Avenia, and Lesher, who you also know. Lesher is an avatar of Aetherios, and her ability is healing. She can literally heal people by looking and touching at them.
Ooh.
That's including things like
Wow.
cancers, tumours.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Ultimate.
ultimate healing.
Yeah, wow.
Mm.
Alright. Damn.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
So she says, 20 years ago, we were all working together
Mm.
under the king's orders. I personally hadn't met the king. The only people that had met the king were Avenia and Seymour to a lesser extent. One day out of the blue, 20 years ago, the 4 apprentices and Avenia were invited to have a meet and greet with the king. I had been part of the court for 30 years at that time. Avenia found me as a baby and partially raised me.
So 20 years ago, you were raised by Avenia.
No.
30 years prior to 20
No,
years ago.
no, even longer than 30 years ago.
Oh.
She's been working there for 30 years.
Right.
But prior to that, she didn't know her family, and Avenia essentially found her.
Right. Okay.
Avenia and Lesher raised her. The Lesher is the other apprentice. So essentially, Avenia is like the grandmother, and Lesher is the mother. But they're adoptive because Lesher is a human avatar,
Sure.
and Avenia nobody knows what she is.
Yeah.
So and Viola is a highborn elf. So she says, I was raised for the first couple of years with Lesher and Avenia. I then went home to the elves, found out my identity, got some land out of it and funds, should we say. I wasn't part of the 10 big families in the elven community, but it was substantial enough that I could start a living. And then of course I started working with the big wigs in the royal capital, and my money essentially skyrocketed. So during the meeting, although we did meet the king, we didn't see the king. He was hidden behind a curtain.
And this meeting was 20 years ago.
Yes. The king, and I can't believe I'm saying this, says he's from an alternate reality. And he obviously had to explain what alternate realities are, and she'll go and say, they're not like planes or different times. Essentially, it's similar to how other Feywilds and Shadowfells work in other planes. They're overlapping times, and there's different possibilities.
So basically, what you're saying is, in a different reality, Finral's died from the
It could have done.
thing.
It could have done. But in this reality, it didn't.
But yeah, that's what I'm.
Yes, implying yes.
Okay. My intelligence is playing up there to say yes.
But he also said that he had killed the previous queen to take the royal family's mantle in order to achieve his goals. Now this is where it gets a bit dodgy, if it wasn't dodgy enough as it is. I don't remember the rest of the conversation.
What do you mean you don't remember the rest of it?
There is a black spot where even my archive has been deleted in that area.
Deleted?
Yes.
They've deleted.
It's
Can't
non-existent.
Recover it?
Which is why I haven't touched it. Maybe one day. I go back there from time to time. There's nothing I can do about it. Not with my abilities as they is now.
Huh.
However, I don't remember how the conversation went, but I remember me and my mother Lesha, my adopted mother, were horrified by what the king said. Seymour seemed interested. He's always been the curious sort of type. And Pandora was laughing maniacally. Yeah.
So she and Leisha were scared?
Yeah. Seymour was interested or curious. He's more of the thoughtful, intellectual type. And Pandora was laughing maniacally. Avenia at the time, she doesn't remember what her reaction was. The next thing I remember though me and Lasher were sitting in a different room. There's like a cut. And however, I do distinctly remember the room that we were sitting in were next to the king's room. So angrily and furious that my memories had been tampered with because I knew instinctually because of my archive, I went up to over the door and directly confront the king about it.
And that went.
As I opened the door, another cut happened and I was sitting in the same chair. And it happened several times again where I would go to the door and it would happen over and over and over again.
Dormammu have come to bargain.
It was almost as if what the king had described with alternate realities, he was manipulating events to.
So how can he interact with your archive?
I don't know. That's the problem.
Why can he interact with your archive?
I don't know. It's my own ability. Venian couldn't even do it.
Maybe something from his reality can manipulate it or is unaffected by it.
Regardless, I was furious. I don't like people toying with my fate.
I can't imagine.
After that discussion, I had had enough. My mother also seemed to have the same like mind as well. I arranged a marriage with Harold.
Why?
Harold is one of the more nobler families. Oh,
Dad.
Yeah.
Harold is one of the nobler families from the Dwarven Empire. So I used his name to leave because if I had left any other way, they may have tried to force me to stay.
So he's high up in the Dwarven Empire.
Yes. So obviously they didn't want to start a racial war.
Mm-hmm.
Lesha retired. She was there for another year or two, and she just said quietly goodbyes. There's nothing they could do about it. I mean, after all, she is an avatar.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's okay. Careful, there's things on the floor. Yeah.
That's yours.
Oh, I don't know. Is it?
Chocolate pizza.
I didn't order pizza.
Nor did I. He just said this is
Free
also
stuff.
for you.
Oh, okay. Free
Free
food.
stuff is best food.
I mean, does anyone want free pizza? I'll put it on the table. There's cheese as well, so the vegetarian can have some as well.
Darn.
I think it's cheese. What? Oh, it's garlicky. Oh, that's nice.
What?
Garlicky.
So is it garlic bread cheese?
Yeah, it's
Pizza?
like a garlic bread cheese, I think.
Cheesy garlic bread.
That might
It's
be
not
like-
very garlicky. Hang on, I'm eating this. Oh.
What did I miss?
Harold high up in Dwarven Empire, and Alicia retired.
Okay.
That's it.
No, I want to make sure.
Yeah. Of course you do. Well, don't just look at it, man.
I'm trying to decide if it's a good idea or not.
Of course it is.
It's melted cheese. Why is it never a bad idea? And that's just like feta. Fucking hate feta.
What?
I enjoyed
Yeah.
it.
What's pepper?
It's like a salty
The little white
cheese.
big ones in Greek food.
Oh yeah.
It's very
Little
salty.
Little bit.
Don't look at me horrified. It's true. You know it. You know it's in your hearts.
It's
Deep
not.
down,
No.
feta is horrid.
It's delicious.
I assume that's yours.
I don't know. It looks greasy, so I'm assuming.
There's my barbecue sauce.
They put the bread on top. That is weird.
It stops it from sponging up all the grease.
I suppose.
Yeah.
You get soggy.
Kebab.
What are you giving me that for? Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
What?
Oh. No, I better start talking again, otherwise things will escalate.
Well, you got food, so if you want to take
No,
5
it's alright.
minutes, but eat it while it's warm, because it's kebab.
No, I'll just finish
Just
this off.
congeal.
You will regret it.
I'll finish this off quickly and you'll get
Okay.
to the actual starters of the course.
Okay.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, that's worked out quite nicely. She knows the king. knows something, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
and doesn't want to be bested by a man who hides behind women and curtains. Oh no, she says that.
Yeah.
I thought that
Yeah.
I came across
Yeah.
confused. I was like,
Because obviously
who's
he's
the other
using,
guy?
he's using Avenia, using Pandora,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
She-
Then why does Pandora stick with him?
she has an infatuation with him.
Oh.
Which is?
Sexual, she says. She shrugs indifferently. What else of nature else would it be? Just a liking.
Oh.
Why is Pandora's child weird?
Oh? Oh yeah, 'cause that's something that you were told and I was going to ask that guy in the ring, wasn't it?
That's another story that I do not have all the details of. However, once upon a time, 25 years ago, Pandora was not as unstable as she was. She was actually quite a nice person. She then had a baby out of the blue. She didn't say who the father was, and when she gave birth to it, it was stillborn.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yes, and ever since then, she's not been 100%.
Well, yes, I'm sure she wouldn't losing someone like that.
Okay. Amy,
Yes,
have you found out any more about Juanita?
that's another story. Let me just finish this story first. Oh no, that's it. She's like, that is my background, she says. For the last 20 years, basically, I've been covering my tracks. As Avenia has been keeping herself busy trying to keep tracks on me. But she's got other stuff to do. So after 20 years, I think Avenia just gave up on me. It's only over the last year or so that I've noticed that Avenia hasn't been tracking me.
Why are you hiding from Avenia?
She's crazy.
Because
She's the right hand of the king.
Because if she knows where I am, she knows where her enemies are.
Huh.
Like I said, I'm a powerful ally, but also a powerful enemy.
Well, yes, information.
Yeah. Avenia is scared of only a handful of people, myself included, because of my augmented ability. I can cast spells like that, and they'd be higher, and she probably wouldn't be able to deal with them as she is right now. Anything above an avatar she is skeptical of or wary. She does not want to go near Grendoza. Her and the avatar there are not on good terms.
What's the name of the Grendoza avatar again?
Oh god, I've forgotten.
Something
Something like Zeal or something.
You
Something
went there
with
for
Zeal.
that session.
Something like
Good,
Zeal.
those
I
are
can't-
just
That's the one we met.
You went there
Yeah,
to do a job.
the older
Robot.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah. We went there to do
Yeah,
a job
something
for
like
Amy.
Zeal. It
Well,
begins with
Viola,
Zeal.
sorry. We went there to do a job for Viola, which involved taking out a necromancer.
And that was Zero's
And
avatar,
we met
wasn't it?
Zero's avatar whilst we were there.
Because of law reasons. Ah.
Okay. Avenia's an avatar.
I don't know.
She's just
However, she's
powerful.
extremely powerful, lived for 1,000 years. But from what I recall, high-level spellcasters can sense divine energy on each other. She had no divine energy, which was worrying. How can an immortal be that strong on her own?
Did she serve the queen before the king that
Yes.
usurped her?
Going demon?
Don't know.
Demons?
No, even demons wouldn't be able to deal with her.
No, she may be one.
Oh, cool. Got an extra chicken one.
Oh, sweet.
When-
chicken ones as well. I know hot barbecue ones. Do they
Love it when you're angry.
I don't
It's so
know.
nutritious,
I've
it's
got
got an
spicy
extra
ones.
appendage.
Do you want some?
No.
Because there's even more in here.
Oh, maybe I ordered six. Another one. These aren't spicy though, so I'm disappointed.
I feel that.
Don't buy
The ones I've had have been
I
spicy.
love spicy food.
stuff for the sake of
Oh, I love spicy food.
Funny you ordered four, so I have two. How many have I had?
Flavour.
I've had three, so I'll have one more and then I'll pass the
For
rest
the
to you.
sake of
I'm
being
fine.
hot.
Have you ever tried a Danzak?
Mm.
Favourite
Can I put that in there?
Have you ever tried
That's
Danzak?
where I've been putting them.
So
Great name.
Uses split red lentils.
the moment she says that, the doors open and the high elf goes,
No.
"Starters is served."
What was the last thing she said, say?
She's been hiding from the Venya,
Okay.
and she'll stop there.
Yeah.
She'll whisper then to the rest of you. After the starters, and she's gone.
What's the first starter?
Volley ones with soup in a little shot glass, which I've forgotten the French name of. Valevous. Are they Valevous?
Is it like an amuse?
No, Vonniers, sorry.
An amuse bouche?
I don't know. Leave me alone. It's pretentious shit. Just fucking eat it. and I'm going to my non-pretentious food, so you can.
Are we gonna have lemon sorbet in between each one
Or palate
refresh
cleansers?
our
No.
palate?
What?
They aren't that pretentious, but there's this pretentious. What type of pretentious place is this? This is second rate, I say out loud. There's no palate cleansers. 4-star.
Second-rate pretentiousness.
I'm going to make sure that the woman who's been announcing this hears.
Okay. See you. We'll see.
Oh God! Get the
Scream at
sorbets
the high
out.
elf woman. Lower your nose to half-mast.
Talk amongst yourselves as characters while you eat.
Yeah, alright.
I'm
fair
eating. I will continue to eat. I can stop the stream if you want, and we can have a couple of minute break.
enough. Yeah, do it. That might be better.
Guys, we'll be right back. Okay, bye.
Show yours. I like
That's
that
your
money
perfect-
set.
Okay, we're back. And
The perfect opportunity
almost
to
done.
kill Molly and you missed
What?
it.
I don't need to make a character sheet again.
oh, what's happened?
It's gotten wet.
Oh
No,
no.
no.
Oh no. Character building.
Character destruction, surely.
Oh. We are back, but I'm still eating chicken for some reason. I just saw this piece and I was like, I want this in my mouth now.
We're never gonna give some to Ron.
I'm genuinely done now. Okay,
Okay.
so you've all had your starters.
Ooh, piece of candy.
Is the sorbet
Candy.
coming out now?
Did my suggestion for the sorbet work?
What?
Did my suggestion for the sorbet work?
Yeah, you got sorbet, sure, why not? I'm not in the mood to argue against that. When the higher leaves and you start eating your starters, she'll go, right, on to the next set of business. Do you remember the black stick and the book you gave me?
Hang on. Not yet.
Yes, we gave
Is
you
that
a
is that
black
the
stick.
is that
Yes,
the
we
book
gave
from
you a
the
book.
tournament?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Right,
that.
right.
And the
Then
black stick we also got
yes.
to when we went to the royal capital. I should note for those who weren't here. We got a weird black stick, which is a USB pen. We know out of character, but not in character.
I kind of got it, understood it.
Sort of. Like
Yeah.
you thought it was more of a floppy disk type thing.
Yeah.
So, I think she's already said already, but she's learned a number of things, so she'll go over now.
Yes. You just haven't told us yet.
There was once...
Viola.
Viola now.
She's always going to be aiming to
Okay.
me. The high elf I learned to detest.
You learned to love her.
There was once... Oh, where am I? There was once a war, a very, very long time ago. We're talking about millennia ago.
Okay.
And it was getting to the point where people were scared of the end of the world.
Hang on, you said something about the
We
end
just
of the world.
avoided that.
Yeah.
Or the end of Finraldrum.
A small collection of the greatest minds were collected together and banned under a number of projects which would have either saved the world or at least saved parts of it.
Oh, that is.
Sorry, I missed that bit.
Sorry?
What happened? Collective of clever people.
Yeah, a collective of clever people were brought together under a number of projects in order to save the world or save parts of it. What's that?
Phil, forgot his key.
Oh,
Project Don't Want to Die.
Is that what it's called? It is now. What did I miss for that then? Sorry.
There was a bunch of projects where clever people put plans together to not die.
Oh, okay.
We'll stop the end of the world.
That's
one project was simply just called the Sky Project or the Space Program, where they planned to send a number of people into the sky as it fell upon the rest of us.
space program, huh? Oh, we saw this funny red thing in space.
Yeah, we
Well,
did.
I did.
Well, she did. Excuse me.
Oh, that, she says, that's nothing.
Well, what is it then?
It's another planet.
Huh?
Another planet.
There's other.
Planets, yes.
I mean,
I thought we lived on planes.
Yes, and this plane has a universe. Each plane has its own universe. You don't think it's just one world, do you?
I did my whole life.
Yeah, same.
the universe itself keeps on expanding.
So,
Does this other planet have a name? Does our planet have a name?
Not really.
Third
but
rock from the sun.
what I
If it would have a name, it would probably be named after the human continent, which is Rock Mead or something like that.
I saw a disc in space. So is this other world flat like ours?
Our world is not flat. It is circular and goes around the sun.
Circular.
Yeah, definitely pointy enough.
A circle, like
Like a
Round.
sphere.
Flat.
No, a sphere.
But-
it's 3-dimensional
how come we don't all fall to the bottom?
because of gravity.
Grab a what?
What's that?
An existential.
Yeah, you have just brought into the world, Stu, something that doesn't exist technically.
An existential force that pushes us to the ground.
Let me
Invisible.
And Amy just prayed to some deity I've never heard of, and I'm a religious
let me
guy.
get to the 15th level and I'll show you what gravity is. I'll reverse it.
There were another two
I'll shut
space.
up now.
There were another.
Not that.
There were another 2 projects on the disc
Okay.
or the stick, but they were fairly corrupted, so she couldn't even get the names of them. However, she got snippets, and she got 2 names which seemed to be prominent through all 3 projects.
2 names.
2 names. So the first one is a woman she assumes called Rose.
That rings a bell.
Yes.
Memory.
No.
No.
Your memory was when she the black tendrils. She's had a dream where she was in bed and spoke to a woman called Rose.
I was thinking it rang a bell from me more than anything. No.
Just
Sorry.
just her.
Okay.
And I don't think she remembered that dream.
2 names.
No, that wasn't me.
Yeah, it was. You were in a bed having a dream. It was one of your first visions.
She's role playing really well right now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she's forgotten. Okay, carry on. You also would have heard the name Rose in the snippets you found,
The bits of paper.
the bits of paper.
Oh yeah, we didn't actually mend that, did we?
No.
No, you never
Shit.
got it. That's in your pocket.
Bastards.
Oh well.
I bet they're all rolled up and grubbed.
Bastards.
Oh, it's gone now. To the
Is it
north.
Not gone.
Yeah, it is.
I'm gonna sit here for 10, I'm gonna sit here for 10 minutes because that's clearly how long the next until the next portion of food,
Alright, okay.
right?
You wolf down your sword again.
It tastes like shit.
The other name, which was predominantly
Because I
on.
use precedent.
The story about that.
Doesn't make it make it like disgusting as well, can't you?
No, I don't even have precedent.
That's how good it was.
You can have thaumaturgy, which is the
Same thing.
divine version. No, it's a divine version. It does other things instead.
God damn it! Where's this guy's name?
Thaumaturgy has its own uses though.
Colin.
No, it's something like
Mick.
no, it's like a pretentious name.
Randy.
Rudolph.
No.
Ezekiel.
Oof.
Tarquin.
Ezekiel still wins.
Okay, where are you?
Where are you?
I should learn to write names in bold.
Somewhere in a galaxy far, far away.
Tarquin's a pretentious merchant in Divinity.
Tarkin. Could be.
No, I've played Divinity and there's a pretentious
Guy
merchant called Tarquin.
Tarquin. Okay. I thought you said
Oh,
It's-
what
it's
is your
one of those
name?
names where you just know that the person you're meeting is going to be.
a knob.
Yeah.
There's a name somewhere.
Because it takes a special kind of person to call their child Tarquin. And those people are going to raise their child in such a way.
Be a cock.
Pretty much. Nail on the head.
to stereotype because we don't do that.
Yeah, we do.
We just lost a viewer called Tarquin.
Sorry,
Yeah.
not sorry.
Snowflake generation.
Sorry, not sorry.
Oh my god, I can't remember this guy's name.
We don't blame you, we blame your parents.
Absolutely, we do. There are things you can do about that. Changing your
You
name,
can change
moving
your name
out,
by default.
getting a job.
Yeah, growing up.
I'm getting so annoyed now because I know this guy's name. and it's
Go on,
not
Colin.
something. Oh my god. No, it's something beginning with Z.
Zebediah.
It's something like that. Or like,
Zephyros.
or like
Zephyr.
Kale, or like
Kale?
yeah.
Kale is bland and boring. Why would you do that?
Maybe he's a bland and boring person.
Fuck it. There's another name.
Come on, make one
No.
up off the top of your head.
No, I'm not doing it because it's all over my notes.
It's important.
It's
It's one
important.
of those real
Yeah,
proper.
but what you can do is just whenever you find it in the future, just cross it out and put the new one in.
No, because you'd get confused.
No, I'll get so annoyed.
Oh, it was
Okay.
so cool, and now it's just Bob.
Mm.
So,
Bob.
was it a singular name
Just-
you gave him?
Bob
Yes.
Dillon.
So now what you can do is make up a second part to add to that name, and when you
A
find
middle
it,
name.
yes,
Yeah.
Okay.
and
Or
we can refer to
a
him.
title like the something.
We'll just call him.
Bob.
Zed the huge bald
I want to call him like something like Dick or something.
dick.
Sorry, who are we talking about?
Yeah.
I've forgotten with all this because you referenced to the
Like short for whatever's short
Richard.
For Richard. That makes no sense to me.
No, but what? So who are we talking about now?
Richard.
Richard the Dick.
Dick.
Yeah, no, but why are we talking about him?
He's the other person.
He's,
mentioned on the
there,
stage.
there were two names that predominantly on the cryptic data.
Okay.
Rose and
Dick.
I'm gonna put that in my notes. Rose and Dick. Still forgotten name.
Yeah.
Known as Dick.
It's not like I've got name. I can't fucking find it on my
You could've
notes.
put him like-
How
like
tall is
Thorn.
Dick?
About 3 inches.
Do you honestly think that Amy's now just like? Do you honestly think that his height would be the equivalent to his intelligence to be put on the projects? Then why ask such a benign question?
I just want to know whether he was a big dick or a little dick.
I think she's frustrated because she can't compensate.
Oh!
Nikki Cox is laughing in the corner. Did it have a helmet or not?
Fuck off, Nikki.
Nah, you can't.
Oh god. I haven't shot anyone this session yet. I might shoot someone soon.
I like Nikki. You dare?
Sorry?
I said you try and shoot Nikki.
It's likely to be the fucking high elf.
Yeah, it's
Keep
likely to
wandering
be the...
around. being
Because
a-
I'm still waiting for my next fucking... the next part of this course.
So
thing.
the tome that you gave her,
So the book
the book,
that I gave her.
yeah, that you
Yeah.
gave her, it's basically a detailed description of the Sky space program.
Ooh.
I mean, this is like a really old tome as well.
Yes.
So that means like it started a very, very, very long time ago.
No. So the premise is they were going to build what seems like a shuttle or a tin can essentially, and put people in it. Yeah.
Imagining Wally before the movie starts.
And that.
And then there was plans to put a self-sustaining garden in there, a library.
Oh, so they were going to build a
Facilities.
huge piece of...
Yes. So
Tin
essentially,
can.
essentially they were going to put 150 odd people in this
Ooh.
shuttle and have them live in the air for thousands of years.
I'm really
basically.
imagining Wally right now.
150 people.
I think
Not a
you
huge
hit. I think
gene
you
pool.
hit the nail on the head.
But they are the most intelligent people on the planet.
That's still not necessarily a good thing.
You're describing the plot for Ascension.
I haven't seen it.
You know, Netflix season. It's great. It's about. Oh, I'm going to ruin this for our viewers.
Don't-
No,
don't
leave
do
it,
it,
leave
don't
it,
do it.
leave it.
Have you seen Ascension?
No, I haven't.
Don't
No,
do
me
it.
neither.
Don't
Really
do
good.
it.
That's whenever do my last campaign as well. Everyone was like, did you steal the idea from here? And I was like, no.
No. I've just
I only play magic. Leave me alone.
I don't remember the
And
big
like
space
they're like,
program
oh,
in Magic, so
did
I
you
think you're
watch
good.
this niche show on Netflix?
No.
And I'm like,
fuck
no.
off.
I spend all my money on cardboard. Leave me alone.
Oh.
It's the sad truth.
It's the sad truth. Well, it's not sad. Well, it is.
No, it's not.
So where was I? So we've done Amy's.
Yep. So there's 150 people in a shuttle now, and that can self-contain itself.
Keeps all the
Well, whether or not the project was successful or not, she says, we don't know.
Well, yeah, of course we don't.
Come on, you can have a look. You've got a telescope.
I wouldn't know what I'm fucking looking for.
A fucking tin can in space.
Too small to discern in space.
It just said right there in the book.
I think at that point I might pick up water or whatever.
If a planet is that size in the telescope, imagine how small the shuttle's going to be.
Yeah.
And she does go over.
And within.
They also talk about the speed velocity of the shuttle.
Oh, you gotta do something.
Look how silent.
So they were experimenting with high speeds of velocity with the shuttle.
Oh.
So
50
forever we know they could be
Millions of
miles away. Yes.
Up there?
Yes, in the sky. For all we know, they could be on the planet that you saw. Which would be an interesting idea.
Next time you see it, wave at it. See if it waves back.
Hang on, you said yourself there's like a satellite network or something
Yes, I handled
that
it.
you're tapped into, and
Yes.
that's how you've got all your information.
Yes, but I can
Is
see.
that them from before who've put them there?
A combination. So I've built some of my own, or augmented some old ones that
And
I
you've
found.
put them back up there.
Yes.
How did you get them there?
Magic.
I really hope there's a puff of smoke
Yeah.
in Sue's bag.
Yeah, there's a rainbow. There's a rainbow.
Yeah.
A fucking 3-ton satellite
Yay,
is resting
performance.
on the table in front of you.
Kadonk.
It's really fucking cold.
No, it's not. It's just Mittens fucking with the drone again.
God.
Mittens is actually in the room. He's just hovering around.
There's a constant ambience of that sound.
It's actually fairly quiet.
Fuck
Yeah, he's that far up.
Yeah, he's currently dangling from the chandelier. Well, he's playing with the chandelier. Yeah. Where am I? Okay, so we've done Amy's part. So next part then, we're getting to the big.
Did you find that person's name yet?
No,
Dick.
It'll be Dick until I find the name. I can't be asked right now.
Did you find anything more about Juanita?
Yeah, that.
Unfortunately, I'm afraid not.
But how? We still remember her and everything, and how can you not?
Well,
She's
no,
messed with
now
your
I
memory.
remember her because you told me to look in the archives.
So hang on.
Are you aware that Juanita was known to fate?
I think we've had this conversation before. Fate's not a person.
But hang on, you said no one could interfere with your memories.
Yes. that's
And
right.
clearly someone's just interfered with your memories, made you forget Juanita, but also remember Juanita when mentioned to you.
But the archive wasn't tempered from. What was stripped from me was my physical memories. The archive has its, hence the name. It archives everything.
What if Juanita is the king?
Dun dun dun! Plot twist.
So out
Oh, Stu, you're backtracking now.
Fuck.
Please realise it.
How do I get out of this one?
So out of character,
Uh-huh.
I don't think it would be anticlimactic if the big bad guy
Was
turned out
with
to
you
be
from the beginning.
to be a Mexican
Oh, so
dwarf.
he is the bad guy.
But
Okay.
But would it be anticlimactic if Mittens became self-aware and travelled back in time?
To kill the king before
Yeah.
this all happened, and now the king is Mittens.
Yes.
we could send Mittens to space though.
Yeah.
He would have gone back in space with Ron. so there'd be like a full elder dragon waiting for you.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Oh,
An
shit.
elder dragon that calls you mummy.
No! This fucking hell, you got big!
Okay. Oh, they grow up so
That's
fast.
that's a subplot that I really want to do now. It's just
It's an alternate.
just-
No. Alternate
Universe.
universe.
Mittens and Ron go back in time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alternate universe.
That sounds like a really good.
I love that, and I have honestly racked my brains about how to manipulate time to have an elder dragon in the storyline.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, good luck with that.
Also, Amy, why the fuck are Flint's teeth so messed up?
Who's Flint?
Who's Flint?
Who's Flint?
Yeah, who is Flint?
Ah!
I like how everyone at the table just turns to you and goes, "Who's Flint?"
Yeah, and I agree with you. I don't know who this is.
and
But why
also-
are his
hang on.
teeth... Why is
character? Who's Flint?
No, it's the big question. Why are his teeth messed up?
Diana, do you know anyone called Flint?
Flint?
No, I'm afraid not.
The
But
same...
but Diana then steps up and goes, I think then we should do our deal now.
Okay.
What deal?
The satyr that knew...
Oh, she says the payment for the job that you did.
Called Jules.
Oh, yeah.
What's that his name is?
I'm paying you shit.
What?
She
What
said
did
she
you-
said hold my hand.
Where am I at the table?
You know, sitting like by her.
Okay. Whoa. Okay. I didn't realise this. Sure.
And then at the moment you touch your hand, you're in blackness.
Just you and her.
Diana is with you. You're holding her hand, and you're in complete blackness.
I feel kind of awkward now. No, I just hate this. I feel kind of awkward. Can I
She
let
said
go?
she was like, no, the moment you let go, bad things will happen unless we're prepared.
Okay.
I should have warned you in advance.
Yeah, you should have.
I don't have the forward thinking that other people do, I'm afraid. I just kill things. And
Well, I sort of did just grab your hand, so I guess I also don't have the forward thinking. Okay then. So
Yeah,
what-
okay. So, and then while you're having this discussion, about a 12, 15 foot black robe appears in front of you. And it goes, so Diana says you want to have a word with me.
Well, she said I could have a word with you. I don't know exactly what for though.
And he says, if you don't have a clue, I can make it a bit more structured for you if you'd like.
That would help.
You get 5 questions.
Does this count as one?
No.
Okay
Hey.
then. What can the questions be about?
They can be about anything and everything. However,
I thought that would come.
they would only be within my power. Such things like what happened during the war, which I have no memory of, would not be a possibility, for example.
Okay.
So basically a question within my power and my knowledge.
Okay then, so first question. I'm only doing this because this name is now curious to me. Do you know who Flint is?
Many, many years ago...
Ooh.
We're not there, are we?
No, it's just you and Dan.
I'm actually getting you to find this out, says Diana.
Dan and Diana.
No, Warwick and Diana.
War, yeah.
Pandora had a child,
Fucking shit the bed.
and it was stillborn.
Yes.
Lesher, one of the other apprentices, felt obligated to save the child.
You don't see someone was dead.
So she experimented on the corpse without my permission.
Oh.
But because she's an avatar of Aetherius, I could not meddle with the life. I can only meddle with death.
Oh my god.
Okay.
After a number of years, I would say about 5, the experiment was a success. And she had somehow successfully made a human that also possessed necromantic energy. An undead, living human being. For fuck's sakes, guys! We're having a serious moment here.
No, it's just
So I'm
Dan
getting it out
dropping
of
chicken bone in the vegetarian's feet. We couldn't help that. That was just comedy gold.
I got tricky shit.
Anyway,
So you broke the atmosphere. So fuck.
okay, so
No,
so the project was a success.
And from what I remember, she kept him in a tube for about 5 years as a dead corpse, and then somehow resurrected him.
Okay.
And she made the first human that was also a zombie at the same time. A necromantic, living undead human.
Okay.
I don't know this is going
Yeah, I still don't know what this is to do with the name Flint and the question I asked.
The Flint is the
contradicts
cake.
the goddess of life.
Flint is his name.
Sorry.
So what about-
character that contradicts the goddess of life really well? Like goddess of life created
Fuck
death.
you. Yeah, fuck you. Yeah. Ooh.
That's the only thing that I know is about this guy called Flint. So I just say to myself as a summary then. So Flint is Pandora's stillborn child, from what you told me, correct?
What happened after that is Lesha, when she retired, took Flint with her.
Oh god.
He then altercations happened and they were separated when he was about 12, 13.
Does this still count only as one question?
Yes.
Okay.
You asked who Flint was, you get his background.
Okay.
Nice.
Because of his undead, the question with what was wrong with his teeth, they were jagged and crooked.
I can see well now. Well, that question's been freaking me out for about 4 weeks.
Why?
Okay.
A plot hole has
He
been
has
It's fine.
he has since forgotten who he was, who he is, and why he exists, and he floated from town to town. And of course, an undead human weird thing wouldn't be accepted very well. So for the last 7 years, he's just been wandering aimlessly lost.
Okay, then out of character, this is something new to me. Flint was another character in the previous time I played this campaign. So this is all news to me. This is awesome.
You kind of knew that Lesha was his adopted mother. Yeah, you did.
I
met,
did.
They met.
They met. I don't remember that.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So that is who Flint is.
Okay. I feel sorry for that guy. Okay. Well, so I want to find out.
4 questions left.
What's your connection with Diana other than you've obviously chosen her as your name? I don't know what Warwick would ask, so I'm just going with what would actually come to his mind at the time.
He says that's more of a question for Diana. He says.
But I'm asking you, why have you chosen her? I'm not asking why did she follow you. I'm asking
She
you
had a debt to pay.
a debt to pay.
She killed hundreds of slaves.
Slavers or slaves?
Slaves. She killed hundreds of slaves, and her reprimand was to serve me indefinitely.
Okay.
That was the only way to save herself.
Oh goodness.
Okay. I just went and say sorry.
She says, "I'm not sorry. I saved them."
One way of looking at it, I guess.
Stop action count.
God, I don't know what I want to ask. Guys, can you guys give me
I
some...
specifically did the Amy thing before this, so you'd have a number of questions.
Winita, why the hell can Patrick talk? Why can everyone climb stuff?
Hmm?
I want to know about the cows.
Okay then. No. There's a question.
Are any gods alive?
What's
in the
with
capital?
Juanita?
Oh,
I do not know.
bitch.
What?
Does that count as a? I don't know. I can't.
Does that count as a question then?
He says,
Okay then.
The
Let me
only-
rephrase the question. What do you know about Juanita?
very well, I can give you information.
There you go. Not-
I do not know much about this Juanita. However, there are a number of people, there are exceptions that fall out of the rifts from what you would call alternate realities. Juanita is one of those people that fell from an alternate reality. As did the king, as did the man that you know, Jules.
Who's Jules again?
The satyr.
Oh.
Oh. Okay. Okay. I get you now. No. I get you now. Okay, that
Maybe
explains it.
maybe
that
she's from
explains
the
a few
same
things.
reality as the king if she has the memory thing.
No, that explains a few things. Okay then. Next question. No one else seems to know about this guy, especially Viola, despite the fact that we've met him. Who is this Fate?
I do not know the person you speak of.
Do you know anything about him at all?
I can only discern what you have seen and what Diana has seen. I can look into your memories right now, and based off that, I do not know who he is.
Okay.
Even if you reworded the question, I could not give you any information on him. He is on a plane which I cannot interact with.
Two questions left, I take it?
Yeah.
Okay. No, that is something that I wanted to find out. So.
Yeah.
Do any of the gods align with royal capital?
No. I'm trying to think what Warwick would ask. That's the problem.
It would, if it was Warwick, he would probably ask a personal thing and ask about the guy you're looking for.
He's not looking for anyone currently.
Your old partner?
No, he knows about him. He presumes that he's still at the place where he last was. I'm actually trying to think what Warwick would actually want to know about.
I'm trying to think as well.
Anyone got any ideas?
Ask about the gods.
Yeah, actually, that is a good question. Actually, that would actually concern Warwick, but it's only going to be about one god, I'm afraid, guys.
That's fine.
Where's Trom?
Trom, like me, is trapped in his own realm.
Shit.
It limits our interactions with the world. And me and Aetherius are the exceptions because if we didn't interact with the world would probably end. So I have to use all of my powers and abilities to siphon souls, while Aetherius does the same.
Can't they break them out?
The only person that could break them out technically is Halal, and she's fucking
Busy.
crazy.
Busy.
One last question then.
Halal is not completely crazy.
Batshit mental crazy.
Oh god.
Batshit fucking mental crazy.
Don't get yourself on that list with Molly.
Yeah, you'd be dead.
You should probably ask more compass. Like, is Warwick intelligent? Nope.
No, his intelligence. Well, he's slightly above intelligent because he's got an intelligence score of 13, so he's got a +1.
So
Yeah.
he's got common sense at least. He would have asked more encompassing question like, where are all the gods?
He's not that interested in
Alright.
that.
In their own realm, you've already
He
answered
was
that.
interested
So,
in
yes.
Trom.
Okay.
That's why he asked about Trom and not the other gods. He got an answer about the other gods and he didn't get anything on Trom,
Okay.
which is what he was wanting. He was wanting information about Trom,
Okay.
but I got none. And then he's trapped in his realm. Okay, that's great. Give me some more info about him, please.
I know what the last questions would be.
Mm.
Are there burritos on this plane?
No, we already established that yes there are because I know about burritos and said Nito burrito. Remember?
It's worth checking. Important information.
Do you want to come back to it, Dan?
If you continue stuff that's happening whilst I'm doing this, I'm going to try and think of my last
Yeah, what
question.
we see while he's gone into this thing.
There, it's a split second, so you wouldn't see anything. Really.
Poof.
Yeah.
Thing. Okay, that's weird.
Before you leave, Drigel will give you a tip of information, which isn't related to the questions. He would say the Seekers probably know have more answers.
Seekers.
Out of captor, who are the Seekers again?
I know who the Seekers are.
The-
The Seekers are the original race.
The Crystal
Crystal
Rising
Rising.
again. Yeah, okay. That's already been explained once. I knew it had been, but I just couldn't remember.
Oh, that's going to be like a crystal maze or something.
Ooh. No, I don't think Royal could ask
With
that.
the original Richard O'Brien.
So would you share the Seekers have more answers?
Yeah, I would share pretty much
Okay, in
everything
which
that I
case
could.
that leads on to the next part.
I would share with you guys everything that I could, basically, about what I've heard.
When you come back.
Hmm. Obviously, I have, which is why we're continuing.
only
on. It's
thing
just
that
I'm
you
trying to
couldn't-
think of the last
The
question.
only thing that you couldn't share is when you talk about Juanita, Jules, or the King about being from alternate realities.
Oh.
Your mouth closes,
Clamped shut type thing.
as in like the air escapes your lungs for a second.
Okay, so I can't tell you guys that.
Write it down.
I take it that if I try to write it down,
Nothing. Yeah, your hand would let go of the pen.
so it wouldn't be. So I'd be able to tell you that we need to.
No, you wouldn't be able to say. You,
I can't say anything about them.
no.
So you'd hear about 2-3 questions. You wouldn't know anything about one of them then.
Amy would say.
That's that's.
Sorry, who?
Well, Viola would say.
I think I'd be asking you lots of questions about what happened in there, by the way.
Like-
So we might.
No, that's why he would have gone straight out with everything because he knows that some of you would be interested enough to ask.
Yeah, but any interaction with like a deity would seriously pique Ty's interest, and she'd ask lots of questions.
Drigel would also mention that the Seekers aren't of this plane.
No, they're not.
So Viola then would conclude from that he's probably meaning either in the Feywilds, the Shadowfells, or they're exploiting a rift somewhere.
Alternate universe?
Possibly.
Is that what the rifts are?
And these Seekers weren't foreign races come to.
No,
this
they were
planet.
originally from here, but from what Drigel says, they're in hiding somewhere.
Right.
So that, like I said, if they're not of this plane, that leaves Shadowfell, the Feywilds, because they're technically their own planes, or they're exploiting the rift. She says, I can look for rifts in the meantime, she says, over the next couple of days, and I'll see if I can turn up an unusual one.
Who's the first god again?
The first god was Halal.
Awesome.
Halal was first, then Trom, then Backup, and then Moradin, and then Drigel, and then Aetherius is last. So Trom and Halal are the two strongest gods, and they fought with each other indefinitely over law and chaos. Then Moradin and Backup then came into being and armed them with magic and weapons, but were spectators. Think like
Did they favour a side of Moradin for favours one and back and favour the other, or they favoured them both the same?
they didn't care; they were just spectators.
Long
Think two smaller kids fighting and two bigger kids just watching, amusing themselves.
Giving them sticks to
Yeah,
each other.
yeah.
Go on, hit him! Go on,
And
hit
then
him!
Drigel and Aetherius were the parents who were just like, stop
Stop it. Fucking stop it.
Life and death.
Yeah.
And then Zero was last, was it, or unknown?
Zero is a no in the spectrum of where she came.
But she's not a particular god of anything, is she?
Ooh.
She is the
Ooh.
god of
I
everything
think I
and
know
nothing.
what
Was
I
the
could
title.
ask.
Hmm?
How do I unlock more abilities on my champion weapon?
Oh, so
This is something Warwick would ask, and something that's bugging him.
essentially, Jugel then goes into the history of your sword. Your sword was used by a general.
Okay.
The sword, the
This is something that I wouldn't share, by the way, just out of character, because
the sword, the armor that you saw Lazarus wore, and a shield were a set piece, each used by a different general of Traum.
okay, hang on a second. So Lazarus has the armor.
Pizza.
Sword I have. Shield, don't know about it.
They were
Equal
considered
set piece.
they were considered a set piece, but they were used by 3 different individuals.
Generals, yeah?
Yeah, 3 generals. It said though that if all 3 pieces were worn by one person, you could essentially become a proxy for a god.
And
Does that mean there's no like
Good.
godly weapon? The combination is the godly weapon.
No, this one's an exception because what happened was this was originally meant to be the sole weapon, but Trom made it too powerful, so he decided to split it into 3.
the entire set would be divisional sword weapon, okay.
Wow.
So it's recommended that you don't wear all 3.
Warwick wouldn't want to wear all 3 anyway, because 1, it's heavy armor, 2, it's heavy armor, and 3, it's heavy armor.
You only know about two.
For abilities, you have most of them unlocked. Basically, the sword is the sword, the shield's the shield, and the armor is the armor.
It's a shield.
So the sword is limited.
So the knockback ability I have, am I able to control it, quote unquote?
You should be able to control it now,
Okay.
once per day.
Once per long rest, I can do what? Good.
Push somebody 60 feet essentially.
And they take damage as well.
1d6 per 10 feet, I think it is.
Okay. Once per long push of 60 foot up to.
The sword was, although the sword was a weapon, the weapon itself also had defensive mechanics built in as well, hence to push back the extra AC and stuff like that.
Perfect.
And the armour, though defensive, had its own built-in mechanics to do offensive damage.
Also, thing of longsword. And also +1 AC when.
There we go. Klaus.
Klaus.
Klaus is the name of Dick. Klaus Dick.
I'm a Klaus. Close to fish.
Okay. So there's still more abilities for me to unlock, you said, of the sword.
No, you've got most of them.
I've got most of them, but there's still 1 or 2.
It's just basically being able to,
Attune with it is the last thing.
yeah. Once you tune with it, the pushbacks are going a little bit further.
Thank you.
Okay. So basically I'm waiting to unlock being able to attune with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did anybody say dick?
And did Joko mention anything about where the shield is?
No.
Because he.
I can't see my
So
dick.
shield whereabouts is unknown.
Shut up.
Okay.
Where did I put my dick?
Where did you last put it?
That's the answer.
Oh, it looks like it's fallen off.
Right. Okay. Carrying on. Moving swiftly.
Okay, so I've actually asked all my questions now. I'm fine with this. Like one of them I can't speak about. One of them Work wouldn't speak about. Work would actually say when he came out, I got the chance to ask 3 questions, and then he would say those 3 questions and the 3 answers that he could talk about, basically.
So that was Flint.
The information about Flint, the information about
Where Trom is.
yeah, where Trom and the other gods is, because I didn't get much about that, so it might as well have been a question about They are the gods. I might as well have asked because that's basically what I got as an answer, even though I only asked about Tron. And what's the last question?
I've forgotten. Juanita, Flint, Tron.
Oh yeah, Flint. Flint and the information about Flint. There you
No,
go.
we've done Flint,
Yeah, Juanita. And
Juanita,
Tron.
Tron,
That's
the
three.
weapons.
And the reality thing.
Oh,
Oh, no, Juanita is the reality thing, isn't it?
Juanita is the reality thing.
What was it?
Oh, Diana's history, was that it?
Oh yeah, why
did
Jagal?
Diana says.
No, why did Jagal pick Diana?
Yeah.
Why did you kill some slaves then?
It's a story I don't like telling.
We have all evening.
You don't have to tell. I say.
Over food?
I'm still asking.
Over a meal? Don't hear
Over
about
a
the
meal.
slaughter of children over a meal.
Yeah.
No, I'd rather not, she says.
Why not?
It's not a fun
Bring
story.
more sorbet if that's the case.
But we need to know.
I don't think we need to know. I just was more curious than anything. Like, I could have asked about halal.
She's killed
Why does
slaves
Halal
and
pick-
now she's saved some slaves. So
Anyway,
Yeah, but that doesn't balance reality.
Amy goes, "Oh, I did."
Who's Amy?
Viola says, "Oh, I did pick up someone on the
Yeah,
way,
every
which is
time.
interesting." And she clicks her fingers, and in pops wrapped in ropes, Jules, the satyr.
Oh, how did you get him?
I have my ways.
Well, he's tied up in ropes.
Well, we're all into a bit of something weird. If
I
you're
thought
into
you
bestiality.
can't use
And BDSM.
offensive-
I can't.
How did you manage to restrain someone then?
I said I can't do offensive magic. That doesn't include manipulation, does it?
Depends what angle you're looking from.
I whispered to what's his face. What's Amy Viola's partner called again?
Harold.
Harold. Does she do this with you?
Harold ignores you, gets up and starts putting whiskey down the satyr's neck, and he's like, "You're gonna need it."
Well, that answers that.
Yes. So yes, she does do this with Harold.
Oh
So
my
the
God.
whiskey dulls the pain.
And the memory.
The satyr's still wrapped. He's standing up, but he's wrapped in ropes. Runs over to Diana, and he's just like, "Help me! Why won't you help me?" And she's like, "Can you?"
She killed 100 slaves. She ain't gonna fucking help you.
She's like, "Can you not stand near me? You offend me greatly." She sort of like goes like that.
Whoa, whoa. Offended you?
Do you not see him vomit everywhere?
When did he Did he just vomit?
No.
It's when she gave him the potion.
Oh yeah, we got rid of. Yeah, alright.
The
Yeah.
potion of expulsion.
Yeah. I mean, yes, but that was a while ago, and I'm sure he's alright now.
Is he drinking?
He
That's-
smells of alcohol. She says.
Oh, clearly he's an alcoholic with a problem.
We have another one of those potions.
I still have 7.
Oh.
"But you gotta help me," he says.
Give one
And
to
she's
the
like,
other.
I don't want to help you. I don't even know who you are. She's like, "Yeah, you do. You know me. We were together, remember? Good old you, me, Flint, Lauren. You know we were together. We did the things together." And
What
she's,
things?
"Yeah, there was an adventure. We found some dungeons and we went through them. And there was a rubber duck. Juanita then coddled me in a blanket for some reason.
Whoa. Juanita.
Yeah, and then
You remember that?
Yeah, but that.
yeah, why wouldn't I not remember her? She's a fucking freak. Anyway,
What about her makes her a freak?
She's super strong, and she picked me up and put me. She said she made me have a bath.
I can understand why you should make me do that. I really can.
And then she wouldn't let me move anywhere.
Mer.
It was
My
horrifying, he says.
My bitch.
Who's heard of every other name, but who's Alaron?
Orin. Yeah, he was the war mage, you know, the crystal guy.
No.
Crystal guy.
Yeah.
Is that what they describe the Seekers as?
Yeah, crystals. Yes.
Sorry.
Oh, I know the Seekers. They were in that little. They were in the little forest of crystals.
There's
Wait,
also
what else
Forest
is
of
that?
Crystals.
Where's that?
Is that in the Feywild?
There's the Forest of Crystals. Sounds like something you know.
Doesn't sound like it'd be in the Shadowfell, someone in my knowledge.
Oh yeah, I don't really remember much.
Too nice.
But-
and happy.
Clearly.
They turn into trees. Don't ask me how.
The Seekers.
You need to tell us everything you know
Oh, well,
in a
I told you.
chronological, reasonable way.
Can you help me, Diana? And Diana's just like, I don't know you. And he was like, oh,
Inside if she does.
Diana, do you know when
yeah, roll inside.
I
do
don't
you
think
know
this
Juanita?
Diana is his Diana.
Yeah. You nailed it.
9.
No.
Okay, then out of character, Jules is another one of the characters from the previous campaign.
I have written down right here that we are in the alternate reality.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is like this is me. I could basically tell you what happened, but no, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna let Jules explain it because
How
I'm
many
not
members
Jules.
were there
You
in
know.
that party?
I would. Pardon?
How many members were in that party?
He's mentioned all of them.
No.
Oh, he has mentioned. Who haven't you mentioned?
So, well, we'll get to that.
Oh,
now.
yeah.
Because the
No,
the
there's
king's showing an
no,
alternate reality.
there's two people you haven't mentioned yet.
And he was like, Amy goes, turns to Mooney, and she's just like, oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, Mooney.
What's
Yeah.
she been doing?
She's been listening. She's really
I imagine
excited.
she's been
I thought
intently
yeah.
I
listening.
thought she'd be bored because she's not
She's-
doing anything.
No.
She's
Infinite.
probably had several orgasms by
Oh
now.
god, and she's only 16.
She's
Stuart, can you make it 18, please?
Oh no! Why did you mention her name? Her age, sorry.
I feel dirty.
So, well, you did it, not me.
No, I didn't! No, I didn't! I did nothing!
So,
I did nothing! My hands are clean!
for now. Amy then does. Amy and Mooney will then combine their powers to try and subjugate Jules. But at first, the spell doesn't work because it's a similar situation to Anita. As in, it just pulls off, basically.
Can I try something?
Oh no.
She goes, sure, I don't like where this is going.
I'm gonna get my little statue that I believe to be Halal out, and I'm gonna, take a little time to pray to Halal. Because it seems like her cup of tea. Be nice
Out
if
of
I could have a
character.
little word.
Will Kira know anything about halal, particularly?
You'd know about the 6 gods.
Yeah, okay, good.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I'm
Go on.
gonna try and speak to my god.
Halal is your god?
Yes.
It possessed her in the
No.
battle with me.
Are you saying this in character?
Yeah.
No. No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
But there are so many beautiful and wonderful things in this world.
Yeah, there are, and that's not one of them.
Creative, wonderful things. All created out of chaos. That's your cup of tea.
I'm prepared as to how Kira's going to deal with this information.
Shit.
Roll an religion check regardless if you're afraid as well.
I outwit to a theorist.
Oh. Well, that's a nat one.
Yeah, okay.
It's ignoring you.
Yeah, she's.
Yeah.
Giving you the silent treatment.
Might be tired from possessing
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
And what Amy then goes, why did she possess you? Isn't she of this plane? She's not trapped. She could have just walked in and just solved the issue on her own.
That doesn't sound like something that Halal would do.
Oh, fair enough, she said.
I'm just gonna say, well, would say that. Like, that doesn't sound like something Halal would do. This is something that Halal would have done.
And then Mooney goes, oh, I have an idea. She says, give me your hands.
Oh god.
It's fine. I've had 2 tea parties with her already.
You have?
You hold her hands, I'll hold your hands.
No, it needs to be direct.
I had a nice
No,
time.
You only
I
have
give you
2
the.
hands.
Oh, you have.
How many of us do you need?
Well, I need
Your
to
problem now.
hold Viola's hand, and you're gonna hold my hand. We make a chain, see?
Oh.
I'm only 17.
Oh, you can't.
Give it to me.
You are.
You're about the right age.
They're dating. It's official now. Well,
I
he's
don't
now
know.
thinking in his head. So Kylan and Moon are now dating. Interesting.
Yeah, it's more like a
Oh.
prisoner, I guess.
Okay.
Are you
My
doing
favourite
it?
action
Yes.
is
In my head, though, they're dating. It wasn't for dating.
Mooney is going to try and abuse your ability.
Ooh.
Okay, she sounds like a horrible person. She
Yeah.
keeps trying to abuse things.
So
Watch out, she's your girlfriend.
Oh.
hasn't abused me.
Yes.
She's helping me learn stuff.
so
Now.
so
That's when
suddenly
she wants something.
She wanted
That's
me
how
to be
women
at a tea
you
party.
feel like an aura around you, and it's sickening. Like it feels like something is being pulled out of you.
No.
Not touching that.
No. No.
You found your dick.
Nice.
Done.
Nice.
Yeah, I put
Oh,
my hand out of hers at this point.
I'm done for a minute.
You can't let go.
Oh, today is crude.
Okay. Strength check.
After the first pull, she lets go, and like she's got. It looks like there's inside of Mooney's hands. There's like an archaic ball of energy,
My archaic ball of energy.
and she was like, "So this is a combination of my mana battery, your probability to success ability, and Viola's archive ability." And she says it's very powerful, and at this moment,
Super great.
and then Viola saw like inching like slightly away, and she's like, you don't want to be any of that. her all aboard.
Yeah, following Amy's lead.
And then she grabs the Sator by the shoulder and she goes, "This is gonna hurt you a little bit." And she just goes like this to the ball and just goes like that into the stomach.
Ooh, fudge.
Poor Jules.
How is Jules looking? Shock.
He vomits.
Oh.
Not sure if that's the
Again?
alcohol, or the fact that an orb has been pushed into his stomach. Probably a combination of the both.
Yeah.
Question: where's Jules' pet stone?
Hasn't turned up yet.
Okay.
What was his pet stone called?
He had a pet rock.
Called
I don't remember.
And it screamed all the time.
Rocky?
And I can't remember, he gave it googly eyes and it screamed everywhere.
No, he literally stuck googly eyes on it.
Yeah,
How
he's...
did it scream?
We don't know.
We don't know. Suddenly,
I approve, type proves.
suddenly his eyes will glaze over and he'll it looks like something similar to the spell suggestion has been cast on him, but one significantly more potent.
Just as a side note as well, Jules worshipped what was originally a halal before he made halal who halal is, as well. That much I do know.
Who died?
No one's died yet. Jules had this ball of energy shoved inside his stomach and he's thrown up.
Oh.
We don't know if it's because of the alcohol or the orb being shoved inside his stomach, though.
Amy then says to Mooney, that was a bit forceful. Can I'll take over now. And she sort of like pushes the 16-year-old away, and she's pushing her towards you actually. And
I'm
she's
just moving back.
and she's just like
I'm going to push sort of Kai in.
like two dolls, just like
No, just so long as...
She's your boyfriend. She's your girlfriend.
Yeah.
it's 9:30 now. So
Yeah, I'm gonna get ready in about 20 minutes.
sorry.
No,
I'll try and get past this quick. I didn't expect it to go on this long.
We've rocked it quite a bit.
Yeah. So Jules' eyes will glaze over and Amy will start asking questions and Jules will recount the story basically. So in his plane, the world was literally fuchsia, similar to ours, except not as detailed. It was all grey, bland. Arcane magic was
Sounds
pooling
familiar.
everywhere. He was hired by Viola, who went by Viola at the time, different Viola, and 5 other people were hired by her as well. Him, Flint, Diana, or Lauren, a pixie which you can't remember the name of.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Interesting.
He says the pixie was only there for a couple of weeks.
No, that makes sense.
Who's the last one?
And Sophie.
That's the like what? Okay.
Just the random.
Yeah.
The 6 of them dungeon delved under Amy's direction.
like we did.
Yeah,
What was the name of the crystal card?
Olorin. Olorin something.
E.
I'll make up my own spelling.
Okay.
No, it's only it ends with N.
Yeah.
Ends with N, so there's no E after it.
Jules, Diana, Lauren, the Pixie, Sophie,
And Flint.
Flint, of course.
That's why you mentioned Flint's jagged teeth.
Yeah, no, of course, because the rock friend called Flint.
No.
No.
They went through dungeon after dungeon after dungeon trying to find answers to what happened to the world. They didn't find a whole lot of information basically. After many dungeon delvings, it wasn't as it was here. The arcane magic was so volatile that things would just reappear and disappear and notice. So the moment they were close to something, they would pull them out. While they're on their adventures, the only thing that they got close to was a little girl called Aura. She was found in a dungeon, in a catacomb, in a coffin with a skeleton.
How sassy was she?
I knew
No, no. She was not sassy.
I knew that was coming.
It was
Just think your average 6-7-year-old. She was very
Full of it.
sweet. No, sweet
she
actually.
was just laying in the coffin with
To
the
the skeleton.
That's
Um,
creepy.
It's a bit morbid.
Viola concluded that the Viola of that place concluded that Aura was some sort of a combination of cyber genetics and human tissue.
What?
So basically,
Like Mooney.
Cyber what? Cyber what? What are they?
Derek's cat.
Yeah.
yeah, Derek's cat.
It's a lot like Schrodinger's cat, but without the box. Seriously, Derek never fitted one.
What's Schrodinger's cat? Yeah, in character.
Anyway, continuing on the story.
Slowly, as they continued adventuring, Avenia was coattailing them basically once they found Aura,
Okay.
and she was highly interested in Aura. Wanted to manipulate her abilities because Aura could apparently control the rifts to a certain degree. Slowly but surely, people then started to leave the party after that point. Lauren went off to do his own thing. He went off to the Dwarven Empire and wasn't seen again. Flint found his adopted mother, Lesha, and they stayed together because she only had a couple of months left to live. After that, then...
Was she the only apprentice to have passed away then?
in his world, yes.
Oh, in his world. Right,
Yeah.
okay.
They're all still alive as far as I know.
Yeah, as you're concerned, you don't know. What else happened? Sophie went back to her home in Pennyfarthing, and her family basically married her off because she was a nobility there.
Penny farthing.
Yeah, that's a nod to me as well. Yeah.
And I go, I look at you as soon as Penny farthing's mentioned.
Diana,
I don't know much about Sophie. I wasn't involved with nobility there.
the Diana of his world had gotten to the point where she'd just overthrown her father, and she was able to control Finralda.
I guess some people are on the same path then.
Seems like it.
Similar. Yeah.
The only person that he wasn't aware of was the pixie. Like he said, they disappeared after a certain number of time.
Probably died as only a pixie.
The only two people
They don't live
the only
very
two
long.
people that were left of the party, we finally entered a dungeon which had computers in it. Which they were able to switch them on and find out information about Rose and her assistant.
Information did you get about Rose and her assistant? What was the assistant called?
The assistant wasn't. The assistant essentially was looking for. Rose was the head of a project which dealt with divine nature. What basically it suggested the aura, the little girl that they found, was the result of that project.
Does this project describing sort of make any sense to what Moonshine told me that evening at the party about how she was sort of
Oh, I was conceived
Ritualised.
magically, like ritually, so there was no technology involved.
What was Rose's assistant called?
No name was given. It also was said that Rose was married to someone. Klaus.
Klaus.
Yeah. And they worked on separate projects together, or on 3 projects. But Rose's baby project was the divine natured one. While they slowly went through this dungeon and were exploring more and more computers, Avenia, Seymour, and Pandora appeared. And there was a battle between Diana, Jules, and the 3 heads of the institution. They obviously lost.
As a side note, I got very pissed off with this fight because we couldn't actually harm one of the people that we were farming at all. No, not because she was OP, but because if we had one other party member, or if I figured out a way of hurting her, because I had a way of hurting her, but I didn't realise it. At the time, I got really pissed off because I was thinking for weeks, how could I hurt her? And I finally figured it out, because in that timeline, this one person had an ability where she couldn't be hurt by magic unless you cast it without her being able to see you, and she couldn't be hurt physically unless you were flanking her.
Nice.
Jules was a
ranged warlock.
A ranged warlock of Eldritch Blast, and I was melee Diana, as you can imagine. I had one way of hurting her, but I didn't know it at the time, which pissed me off.
Anyway.
Yeah, I can imagine.
How did you survive then, Jules?
That's the problem, he
Unless
says. Yeah, that
Their
as
intentions were
Divine
evil.
intervention.
as the fight was going on, Seymour and Avenia had internal fighting going on. Apparently, Avenia wanted to save Viola, and Seymour didn't agree with that notion. So they kind of had a struggle with each other. Pandora was easy to deal with because at that point she had become so mentally unstable, because also she had lost her child in that timeline. She became so mentally unstable.
Some similarities.
How
in the
similar are
timelines.
these timelines? It's like coincidence is creepy.
I mean, they're parallel universes. They're usually quite similar.
Yeah, no, but
Upset
we
our
don't know that it's
character.
parallel universes.
Yeah.
It's just we know this is his world.
And as the fight was going on and Avenia was about to save Viola, Seymour took it upon him to kill Viola, which sent Avenia off the deep end. And by that time we had dealt with Pandora. We'd used up all of our resources to deal with Pandora, and we had nothing for Avenia. But Avenia was so powerful at that point that she literally everything was torn apart.
Everything?
So his reality is gone now.
How did you get here? Did that sort of tear send you here?
Yeah.
Rifts happen.
Did it like Tesseract in you?
So he said as I was looking around, my god, who was not halal but called I think it was like
Backup.
No, not Bacchus. Bacchus wasn't his god.
No, it was.
No, Bacchus always been the god of magic.
Oh,
and
no,
difference.
what was it?
It was
Like
some.
you.
It was his god was the god of jesters, basically. So he was made a fool of a lot. God of jesters and gluttony. I've forgotten the name already. In his final dying breath, as everything was collapsing, he gave Jules the ability to escape through an alternate reality, basically. So Jules essentially Jules has a certain affinity for rifts, which he used against you in the fight.
Interesting.
Did he use the rift to absorb the damage?
Yeah, and then throw
send
it back. Yeah.
Oh. So has he given in to some alternate power?
His power was his own because his god's essentially dead.
So he became the god himself.
Maybe you don't, but that hasn't been really explored.
Yeah.
Sort of
The only other person that he saw in the darkness was Juanita. And
Right.
Juanita seemed so nonchalant about it, like she'd been there
Oh,
before.
hi. So,
Yeah, she'd been there before.
okay, and what did she do?
She did what Jules did and just like rifted away, basically.
So Juanita's from the
So
other
possibly
universe.
the Juanita on this plane is the same Juanita from that plane.
Potentially the truth, and she's just gone somewhere else. Doesn't explain why people have forgotten about her, not
No,
us.
doesn't explain that.
See you next week.
Okay,
No,
sorry,
thank
I'll
you.
try and wrap this up
No,
quickly.
Thank you.
Okay, tell her
I
next
like
time.
the laughs.
Okay.
Thank you.
No, it's
Sorry.
not good.
So that are.
Bye.
Oh.
So yeah, and then he wakes up and he's like, "Yeah, we need to find the rest of them."
Derek's with us, isn't he?
Yeah, Derek's with you. Yeah. Why would you ask that?
Well,
You
Does
want
Derek have
you want
anything
Derek
else to
in
ask anyone?
Moonshine?
He seems indifferent about it. He's like, "No, it's all right. It's all over my head, really. Like kind of like Mittens. Mittens is the head." So Jules is just like begging Diana to help him find the others, basically.
she's not your Diana.
And he's like, "No, I mean, we need to find Flint and Lauren.
Your Flint.
No,
No,
this
why,
Flint.
okay, why do we need to find them? Work asks.
Well, they're part of the story, aren't they?
Because plot.
Good answer, dear.
Because plot.
If the similarities are so familiar between your story and what's happened in our world, maybe Lauren is with the dwarves
We need to go to see the dwarves.
and Flint is with Lesher. Presumably
And
she's still
Sophie
alive.
would be in Penny Farthing.
But
she was
you
married
already know.
off.
Roll. No, you.
No,
know.
no, I didn't have that much dealings with the nobility.
Yeah, but you've got the ring.
Oh fuck! I forgot about
what
that.
ring is that?
No, I forgot about that. Oh, Sophie's dead.
Yeah. Sophie in this world, she was born about 100 years before.
I'm gonna tell Jules now. Sorry, but Sophie's dead.
It's like, oh, okay.
How did she die?
Don't know.
Old age.
Probably.
Where's Flint?
It's on his world it was Leshaw.
Where's he?
So where's the show?
Howard.
We don't know. She
Harold.
Yeah,
from
yeah, Scott, yeah. Yeah.
What about
Viola,
the ones
she
who
was
went to the dwarves?
escaped
Oh, Lauren. Haven't heard of him.
with obviously Flint,
Ever?
with Flint.
Well, yeah, the Seekers have not been seen for ages. Why would we
Find
randomly?
the Seekers. Find the Seekers. We can find a lawyer. I think.
How do we find a secret?
We seek for them. We become the seekers.
We find and go seek.
Yeah, like Amy said, that Drogel mentioned that they're not of this plane, so that means Shadowfell, Feywild, or they're exploiting a rift.
Amy,
somewhere.
have you got any way of...
We have a way of going to one of those places.
We
We
do.
do.
Where did we find the Hagraven Basin?
What did we hide there?
Oh, but you did tell Amy to go look to look at that location.
Has she been yet? Have you been to the location we told you about the rift thing?
Oh yeah, it's gone. Oh
The
no.
rift is gone.
Yes, it's gone.
Why?
We told
Well,
you
when-
to hide it.
No, I mean when I got there, it was gone.
How could it just disappear?
Fey magic. It's very elusive.
So it disappeared when you went there.
No, I mean it just wasn't there. Whether or not it disappeared when I went there is an entirely different concept.
What if others went there? Would it reappear?
I wouldn't know. I would assume that once you defeated the hags, the magic just slowly dispersed itself.
That makes sense.
Oh no. We need to get the basin out of my shop.
No, we need a portal there.
Not in the shop, we don't.
Why not?
It's my fucking shop!
But how would we
We
go
do
about
it
creating
outside.
that portal?
She
We
says.
buy a barn outside.
Amy says,
Could it help us go to the city?
I'm going to spend the next couple of days looking for a rift where they could be. While that's happening, I want you to stay here and we'll see what turns up.
Would you be able to
Where's yours?
search the dwarf?
Finraster.
Would you be able to search the dwarf capital for maybe sightings of some sort of crystalline being? If the realities are similar, one could be there.
If it was similar, she said, we would have heard something by now. The dwarves tend not to keep things to themselves.
And
Do you
Viola.
not?
They aren't
Wait.
they avoiding
Where's that shop?
communication with human capitals?
I haven't seen my mother in a while, she says.
Okay.
Any way you can get in touch with?
Well,
I'm afraid not. I've been on the run for the last 18, 20 years.
Could you use your
Kira
sighting
has
thing?
spoken to Elorius, whatever her name is, and
Lashar
Green
was-
Enchantress is
The Shah was fairly powerful
a
herself.
servant to.
She-
Maybe
she
she
could
knows
stay
where
with him.
Avatar is.
Okay. No, it's just us.
The only person that probably know her location is Avenia, but because Avenia is the grandmother, the mother of Lashar, she would have just left her be.
Wouldn't her god sort of know where she was by prayer? or-
Yeah, Theris would know probably as well.
And we have someone who's very close to Theris, and
Yes,
the Green Enchantress.
but she says if you can't if I can't find anything out of the rifts, the only other option that it seems that we have is to go to the Shadowfells and Feywilds.
Can we create our own rift?
I mean,
How would we
Or
do
portal to those.
that? Indeed,
portal to those
portal
planes.
to-
I mean, we have a Satar that can do that, but it seems like his ability is very limited.
We
Clearly-
also have a mana source that can.
But clearly
Freaking
yours
sense.
is also limited considering you cannot create said rift.
I can't exploit rifts, no.
There you are, so his abilities are not limited. They're
Could,
just useful in a very different way compared to your own.
could we use the creepy child to supercharge his ability?
No.
Oh, you're not a creepy child, don't worry.
I,
I'm just dating her.
I wouldn't recommend that. You saw what happened.
It's up to him if
He
it's
threw
canon.
up. He can throw up again. We'll feed him some more so he's
Not just
capable of
talking about that. She literally just put 3 different types of archaic energy into one being.
I was at the Adventurers Guild the other day, and I did see a posting for a quest to the Feywild.
Okay.
How? How are they going to get us there?
There's only one option. Amy says you're gonna have to go to
Whoa.
the Poison Bridge.
But you've asked us to stay here
We've
in
both done that
Finrasta.
before.
Like I
Yeah,
said,
it's
for
a
the next
shit
days while I
hole.
look for this
I was
rift.
running for my life.
Me too.
Why were you both running for your
I
lives
wasn't
from that
running
place?
for my life. I was just trying to get out of
I
the
was
shit
running
I
away
saw.
from elven captors who wanted to experiment on me.
I wanted to leave
What?
because the elves were just a bunch of bastards.
Oh God, I'm going with the experiments then.
So Amy
Why
says,
were they experimenting on you?
Because of
Because
Because of
Ah,
us.
so have you not heard the part where he's got celestial energy running through his blood instead of a capsule like it is inside of me and probably Ty?
I mean, yeah, alright.
Like they would experiment on him because of that. He's not off this plane.
I would show you my true power, but it doesn't benefit anyone. It hurts everyone around me.
Oh, great. Are you a fallen? Yes,
Scourge.
Scourge.
So I'll go into a big bright
Fucking hell.
ball of light, and everyone will take damage around me.
Yeah, we will. Please don't. Supernova.
what was I going to say?
That's what I'm
So
saying.
Amy says we've got a plan then.
Yeah, we'll stay here. We'll do whatever
Yeah, and then
for a day.
3 or 4 days.
Oh, 3 or 4 days.
I'll go take out that quest in advance just in case.
And we'll.
It was above my my station. on
What
my-
level
What was it? Yeah, what level was it?
Gold. I
Oh,
believe.
okay, never mind. I won't take out that quest because I can't.
Why? I thought you could.
Yeah, you
I'm
can.
not gold. I can't take out
You're
gold.
black.
Yeah, you
You
can.
won the Colosseum.
You won the Colosseum and you were given a gold badge.
Oh, okay, never mind. Oh, yeah, okay, never
I
mind.
thought
I will
you
go.
were, yeah.
I forgot that I was given a gold badge. Sorry about that.
Yeah, write that down.
Yeah, well.
So Amy says, "I'll deal with the rifts. Diana can
Do whatever.
continue.
Do Diana stuff?
Diana can continue killing slavers or
Good.
helping
Can't we send
Jules.
her to the Shadowfell while we scout the Feywild? 2 birds, 1 stone. Or is that too dangerous?
No, I'm just taking the quest so that if we don't find a rift, we can then go to the place.
So
What was this quest for?
A rescue mission of sorts.
For who?
The posting was anonymous.
But what is, like, who's being rescued?
I think they mentioned some sort of exotic creature.
Huh? Fair. Okay. Means blood for the blood god. I'm going full corn.
yeah, so that's the plan then.
Okay.
Yes. More blood.
I'll leave it for a couple
And
of
then
days before I take out
Harold like says, "I wasn't going to say," and
Okay.
Jamie's just like, "Oh, fuck's sake."
Who?
Viola,
Viola.
Jamie or Viola,
Yeah.
Amy, whoever.
Viola Umi goes, "Oh, for God's sake."
With Amy.
Yeah, what?
No.
What is it
No.
now? What is it now, Harold?
Vimy.
No.
And he was like, and Harold's like, "I forgot to mention," and he puts on the table a wanted poster, and she goes,
What?
What's that?" And he says, "It's a wanted poster for the Time Delvers."
Does it have a picture of us all?
She said, she looks at it and she goes, "No, it just says they're looking for us."
Whose?
What's on the wanted poster?
Who are the Time Delvers?
Can I look at the?
Oh, us.
Okay, can I look
that
at
was
this?
left out.
What's on the
You're
wanted
a time
poster?
delver.
Oh, jeez.
So looking at it, it just looks like ornate writing. The king is specifically looking for any
The
information.
king.
Yeah, any information on the Time Delvers, and they're either dead or alive, basically.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
Good luck.
I'm going to hand my time delver's badge back to Amy.
I don't have one.
And she
No,
says,
you don't,
she
yeah.
says,
You hold on to this while it's not safe.
you won't be able to access me if you don't have this.
We've got walkie-talkies.
And she says, "You're fine in Finrasder."
Are we?
Oh.
Finrasder is a hive
Who
of
who
scum-
actually knows that we are of the time delvers?
It's just a skin
yes,
of
but-
the destruction.
Finrasder is a hive of scum and villainy.
It's not Mos Eisley.
It more or less is.
Well, Diana's dealing with that.
Indeed, but it's still a hive of scum and villainy.
And that's
There
the only
are
connection to the
those
capital.
here who would wish to do such things as give us in to the king.
Yeah, but do
Who-
they
yeah, but
actually
who
know who we
knows?
are?
Who
Who
would
knows
have
that?
the royal capital come down like a ton of bricks on this town with the entire army from the royal capital.
How do they know of the Time Delvers if you're...
How do they know of the
Through
time
both
delvers? Clearly, the alternate universes have not been kind to us. I'm putting 1 and 2 together here. Sort of
That
thing.
could be.
If they know who Viola is, it could also mean any of her associates.
If Viola, you've
Yeah.
stopped protecting yourself from being tracked, and you yourself, you, Diana, and Mooney over there,
And Mooney's just like, "You still."
Shh. and Mooney over there, being in the same room as each other, might have been the beacon they required to find you.
Just also a couple of god weapons.
Yeah, and all of the
I say
god weapons
couple
and
like
stuff.
3.
Yeah. That one, that, and Halal's thing.
And Mooney says, "Oh, that won't be a problem."
They're probably stronger than you.
She says, "No, they're
Yeah.
not.
Probably.
No."
She nullifies magic around her.
Sorry.
So there's probably some sort of
Something can probably
block
get
from
through
seeing
it.
this.
If it is all powerful, like a king.
The king may not be all powerful. Sounds like all his...
If the king is
people are
able to
powerful.
achieve the victory over Amy's archive, I don't know what else he'll be able to do. Because no one can alter Amy's archive.
It might not even be the king, it could be his associates. They just
Could be his butler.
they erased memories of the king, so it could be anyone connected to the king. Could be Ivenia, the butler. We've been told today how powerful Ivenia is.
Oh, Mooney says mention. Pandora's got divine magic now, by the way.
Huh?
What?
How?
Since yesterday or always?
Since I saw her last night, a couple of days ago.
Fantastic. How did that happen?
Amy goes, that shouldn't be possible.
She did summon the meteor.
Yeah.
Gods give divine magic. That would mean there's either a god involved or she's done something.
Or both.
We can probably assume it's not Halal or Dragel, as both of these were trying to kill her.
Could have been Halal, to be honest.
Halal could be playing both sides. Chaos.
Either way, it's something to worry about if it happens. And I'm just gonna go. Okay, is there anything else that we need to do?
Is
No.
the dessert on the way?
Yeah, that's a good question. Where's dessert?
Well, we
I'm looking forward to that ghetto
you're,
cake.
you're halfway through the mains now.
Mm-hmm.
The main course.
I don't like it.
If yeah, so the plan is Amy's gonna look for a rift. If she's unsuccessful finding anything, you're gonna have to go through the Shadowfell Feywilds.
We're going to
Somehow.
have to go to the Shadowfell
Yeah.
Wilds.
If
I've been more using Shadowfell, I know it.
if while that's happening, Diana is gonna do her own thing with I didn't even mention Tarviel. Tarviel's in the room as well.
Oh, yeah.
Just
Oh, yeah.
Tarviel Smith. Did you say he was
He's one of the
associated
last of the three families.
with- Oh, right. So he's not the black and he's not the
One
of
does.
those.
Smithson.
Smithson.
So he goes.
Smithson
He
Weston.
says. So up to that notion, I want to make an alliance
With
with everyone in this room.
why?
The Blacken family are a bit of a pain.
Right. But they're one of the three.
One of their representatives is here, though. Right?
Diana's been exiled.
She's technically not of the family anymore. I know of
There
exile.
was this young gentleman at the Colosseum that we saw in the after party. He didn't seem.
That was Diana's younger brother, youngest brother.
He didn't
Oh,
seem.
so she's exiled but still talking to the family.
The youngest brother and the mother are the kindest of the family, so they find ways to speak to Diana from time to time without the rest knowing.
Huh.
It's probably pretty obvious that obviously her father is not exactly best pleased with her.
What did she do to get
stealing his
exiled from the
mantle.
family?
She killed the slaves and the slavers.
Right. Yes. Okay. But the family is the slavers.
Then she still had her father's birthright, wasn't he meant to be mentioned that he was meant to be?
He
the
was
conduit?
going to be the next Avatar. However, and he had 2/3 of the champion, the soul weapon, but then Diana stole 1/3.
Is
So-
Daddy still alive?
Yeah, I believe so. I haven't seen him, but
Can you confirm?
no.
Can you find confirmation?
Would you be happy if he wasn't alive?
I want him dead, she says.
Correct.
I like that. Great stuff.
Good to know. Can you find out if he's still alive?
Tarviel goes, he's alive.
Shame.
Oh, okay.
So here's-
back to this alliance.
I want to overthrow the Blacken family and put Diana as the head instead.
Oh, me too.
Oh God. That's
Make us residents of the fourth disc.
The 5th disc, even.
makes residents of Finrazda as a whole.
But we can only do that if we get Diana as the head, though.
No.
No, because he doesn't have that power. It's the head of the families that does, and the head of the family is just the Blacken family.
Fair.
Yeah,
So-
I'm happy to join in this.
Miss Wonder goes, the Wonder family will abstain from this alliance, but we will be quiet observers.
So you'll not help at all.
Who's the head of your family?
Don't forget
My
that.
parents, but
Don't forget, at the end of the day,
first-
this is a game of politics.
Yeah, it's Game of Thrones at this point.
my parents are the
You
head of the
either win
family,
or
but
you
you
die.
can consider me the head of the family.
Okay. Why are you the head
I
of the family?
personally prefer to be a neutral
My
party.
parents, though older than me, are not as talented as I am.
Let's put it this way: this is
So
really our
you-
best chance of getting to the 5th floor.
So you could grant us domain over all Finrazda, to freedom to travel to
Miss-
all.
Miss Wonder goes, I I could get you access to the 4th disc.
The 5th as well.
No, the 5th is the personal disc of the 3 families.
Indeed.
It would be odd if some random adventurers.
Who says we'd use the ability?
She thinks for a moment and goes, "No, I can't. I can't."
Okay, 4th disc.
That is exactly what she says. Nothing odd will happen. It's just I've taken an interest in your shop.
Oh, you know about the Adventurer's Edge. I imagine profits are up actually because Meteor and End of
Yeah.
the World shit just happened.
Oh, yeah.
Minted!
That was good advertising.
Yeah?
She goes, "I know of your shop. I
Okay.
also know that you have a lovely." And she starts looking over Derek, and she goes,
Focus, you've already got a boyfriend.
Window shopping.
Derek's cat flies past.
and she's like, "What is?" She's like, "What is that, Ethan?"
It's a cat. She made a drone for it. It's all cybernetic-y stuff and things.
And she's like,
That's
"Oh, yes."
That's not helping her fascination.
And she
Should have
goes,
just kept quiet there and got Bill.
She goes, "I'm technically not the head of my family. However, I am acting head because my parents can't do anything about it.
Why?
She's more powerful.
They're
than
not as talented as I am. They handle the paperwork. I handle all of the
Decisions.
business."
Fair.
Sure, 4th disc access.
Very well, she says, and she gets your passports off you, and she clicks her hands, and like a little star appears on it.
Yeah.
You gotta go with Star.
Ah, mine's old by now as well.
Yeah.
Or looking old. Yeah.
And she's like, "Okay, you now have access to the 4th disc. Do as you will."
She probably sees that as well, didn't she?
Well, see what?
I was sent my message, remember?
What
Why?
message? What message?
I'll tell you later.
Okay. There's loads of people sent messages.
I know, yeah, that's probably true, isn't it?
Mm.
I haven't sent any messages. I don't
No,
know.
we
We
just
no,
talk to him.
You have sent a message.
I have.
You're waiting for your payment for the Olaf job. They're expecting that.
I haven't sent any messages.
Oh,
Yeah. Well, you've got no one to send a letter to.
Why?
Oh yeah, no.
no, my message to you
When we
about
get-
my
when we get back to
backstory
Shadowfell, we'll
stuff
send a
in
fucking
this.
message.
Oh,
to
about
themselves.
the underground
Yes.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
She
remember.
probably
Roller
sees
coaster.
real.
She knows all about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, true.
But I did that through the
Yeah,
photo
so
skill.
Feywild
The
can send a fucking
whole.
message to herself.
Yeah.
Describe. I know it was kind of a poor role on their end, but what was the surrounding area like on the Sky?
Oh, like I said, cages of the exotic creatures, and your parents were in one of the cages essentially.
Or was that like we didn't see anything
You heard
crystal or anything?
you heard a couple of words like like experiments and moving dates forward and things like that.
Oh. I think it's-
And then Jules goes, "Yeah, and Dan, it can help me find the others."
Go to sleep, Jules.
No, you're alright.
Can I put him to sleep?
Do you have the spell?
No.
Oh, fucking kosh.
I mean, both. I'm just put him to sleep.
I didn't realise today.
Right, okay,
That's just what's
so
like
we'll
this.
leave it there.
Yeah.
Next session we'll wrap up what feats you're
Dinner.
getting and all that other stuff for your other half of the week.
Yeah,
And
and
then-
so much
Because
money.
as far as I'm
I
aware of, all I need now is to learn how to use the tool and the language.
Sorry?
Because there's a skill expertise, a tool proficiency, and a language proficiency.
That means
So I need to wrap up the tool
more
proficiency and
tea-
language
tea
proficiency
pies
to the
with
other
money.
half.
I will leave it at that because
You might get laid.
At this
I wouldn't
rate,
want to with her.